Just having a look here, I did mention that Simple is leading the way in terms of opening kills, that stat line for the entirety of the tournament. Oh, gone past each other. Will they expect it? No, they won't. The Electronic's going to grab one here and a second. That's a lovely shot right there onto X7. Gets the better of him finally.
Snappy. Snappy aim. And Flamey starts to posture on in as well. Top dog. Smoke down. Alu is going to be limited in vision. But you still have the open side of the wall for Aerial, and he's made good on it so far. Finds one. That gives Alu a bit of time because the aggro goes away from him, and Aerial gets the second bomb down. Electronic, though, is still the man. And is controlling everything. Sergey got Edward at the inside. And finds Zeus, but Electronic wins it with 4 kills on the trade, and the start was great positioning.
So Electronic now, after that round right there, goes up to 5-3 in terms of opening duel success rate. So he's found 5 big opening kills. He's had 3 opening deaths. When you look at this round right here, that's a huge amount of impact. They weren't expecting him to get out here at all. Just to note, with Simple doing that wall bang, right, it forces the CT AWPer away from that position. So once he knows the shot comes through, he's like, well, I can't stand here. You know, he might tag me, he might go for a different lineup. You have to be a little bit more sheepish in that position. So that's a huge round for Navi to get on the board. Aerial did his best. Aerial was actually the highest rated player on train last time these two teams went toe-to-toe. Well, highest rated player for ENCE, sorry. Let's get it factually correct. I think now they're just going to go and simmer with this inside execute. There's a 4-man lean towards the outer bomb site still, and there's no early rotation. It would be Alexi B, who are on forward on the bomb train right now, the closest man to help towards low ramp inside for Sergey, who doesn't have a Molotov to slow this down, but he does have a smoke. It's going to be pretty quick on Sergey's position right here. He needs to go huge. A multi-frag is needed to allow the teammates to rotate in. Here it comes. Flashes over. Smoke to follow. Clever
to get off the ladder when he does, Sergey. He even tried to buy himself space with the flash fading from his eyes, but Electronic beats him into the position. Flamey's also gone very aggressive. Smoke down will buy him some space, given that he was blind. He didn't quite catch the player jumping through. Flamey mites. Oh, that flash could have been hugely consequential. They managed to hold the line. And Navi should find their turn to get a double digit and get number 10, as Aerial and Alu are already backing out. Again, we mentioned it, Alu. This is him bringing out the op for the first time. Save call for ENCE, and $300 only for Aerial. Alu at $2,900. There's not a lot to work with. Could be back on 11-11.
So out of the 6 opening duels that Electronic has won, the ones that he's been successful on, they have won 5 of those rounds. I was just going back to look at his impact there. Obviously, I'd need to juxtapose that to his opening deaths and see if they lost the round when he went down first, because he has died first 3 times. So if he's detrimental in the same regard, then, well, he's winning right now. 50, you know, he's ahead by 50%.
Sure, but the deaths would take away from that average.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So that's just something to keep an eye on here as we go forward, because Electronic has definitely been the different maker in terms of the impact of his opening kills thus far for Navi, keeping this one interesting. If ENCE can get this one on the board, if they can keep it interesting, and this game is going to have a very back-and-forth nature. Otherwise, Navi will stabilize. Looks like they want to go back towards inside again. Slow and steady. Edward and Zeus clearing out the box holes. Edward leading the way, Zeus in tow, being that supportive element, ready to trade on out or throw nades to help get in position. There are 3 players towards the inner bomb site, however, so they're going to think better of this, but now they have to deal with the close position of Aerial in Pop Dog.
Down there, but he's going to be Molotov'd in. Naded as well when he's forced up close, and they're going to spray, and this is all by design. A flurry of utility that tries to put Aerial into an uncomfortable position, but he knew exactly where to stand. Didn't have to move much more than, well, as you just saw, about a baby step. Dog's not a bad position for the rifle to be in, because he can rotate very quickly, he can swing, he can spray when they double drop, but not if he's looking away. Zeus takes Aerial down. And Edward follows. Now it's Alu they have to find. He's the only one outside, and AWP gone around pretty much confirmed, I think, at that point in time. Boosts up to try and go for the planter, but that's spotted out. from range by Electronic.
Very cheeky of X7 there, just trying to get in, tap the bomb, and see if he can draw them out so he can grab a free kill, but it's not going to be the case. Oh. Hello.
Still not going to be the case that they get more than one, all right? That's what you meant.
Yeah, another note, I guess we can keep looking at the contrast because this is a head-to-head matchup, right? And it wasn't actually that long ago that the major went down. It was a huge matchup. It was something which was an upset in everybody's eyes, that's for sure. Electronic was the lowest rated player on Train last time round. This time round, I just noted his impact. He's leading the way on 24 frags. He's turned it around, that's for sure. Simple isn't actually needing to do much, but you did mention in the first half, lots of saves. We'll keep an eye on that as things progress, but ENCE are going to be able to buy one up here. 11-11 is the score line, going into round number 23. I can bring out the cliches of destroy to break the camel's back and stuff like that now, if you want.
By all means. Sergey to the corner with the M4. Doesn't actually get any damage inflicted onto the enemy and rather comes away with 45 left of his own, so didn't go super well for him, but at least gets the information as to where they are.
Navi are kind of giving them a taste of their own medicine. They're not going for that direct approach towards their inner bomb site, but it feels like they want to do a similar thing, right? Rinse and repeat the same kind of strategies or approaches. And then normally teams will do that, right? Because what you do is you lull them into a false sense of security that you're going to see the same default or the same facing of rounds or at least the same openings. And then when you do change the pace, you have slight little nuances and changes to things that catch them off guard. Here we're going to see some opening smokes towards the yard, but it's not going to be used on it, just a bait out utility. Maybe also where that utility lands, it helps Navi know what type of CT hold that they're dealing with. This could be a double pump towards the outside yard position. They have enough nades to go again. 30 seconds left on the clock, and they have to go now.
7 tap again. It's actually going to be him that gets the kill over top of Ariel's shoulder. Electronic stuck out. They haven't detected it. 2 for him. By space, but he pulls out a Molotov. That gives Alexi a chance to repeat. Nearly gets time to get the angle. Now he throws the molly, and that'll go towards Z, but is he aware of backtracks? They're not close enough. He's got to turn it immediately. He does. It could be. It needs to be. AK in hand. He gets toward the hitch, but he's still not safe, and he doesn't know which way to look first. Alu has a chance to surprise, to strike, but it's an AWP, and he has to time that with his teammate, who's gone down, and now he knows. Now he knows where Alu is, surely, that he's going to be coming from around CT. Did he spot the shoulder?
He saw it.
Doesn't matter. He's got away from the bomb. I think he might have.
Oh my God.
What is that movement? What is that movement? But it costs him. All he had to do was play cover. He got to the open instead, and Alu wins the round for ENCE. Fancy footwork, but maybe too damn good for his own good.
He was feeling himself there. I think Alu ran around the bomb train to see if he could find a defuse kit in that situation. If he was unable to pick one up, he might not have actually been able to get that defuse. It was starting to tick very fast towards the end there. That round would have been an absolute banger, all things considered.
If he got the kill with that movement, it would have been a highlight everyone would have talked about. But again,
you're right. He
similar
didn't need
to Simple,
to do that, did he?
He could have just run off and let the bomb play.
Well, keeping it interesting. Navi definitely offer excitement, that's for sure. You want to talk about excitement in the booth, on the face of the players, the way that they interact with each other, not just in the server. They're the full package.
Was it not Electronic that said, I can be better than Simple in an interview?
Yeah, I think.
That was literally a page from Simple's book. Run and then fight, as we saw in Mirage at the Major. Super slick to get up there that fast. I'll give him that.
He's booked in with the movement, right? He's absolutely destroyed Alu in that regard because coming around, he should be winning that fight. But by not being able to convert instantaneously,
the AWP just wrecks him.
That's enough.
And he could have played the time, right? It's another one of those situations. But
see, look, Alu's getting tagged up. He has time to adjust. Simple watching that is like, look at him. He's Simple smiling. You know, that's not a round that he should have necessarily won anyway. A round that he could have won, all things considered.
Yeah, that's the other part of that. He did clutch that back.
Yeah,
like
it was well and truly against them. Looking at the flow around here, though, Matt, just quickly, this is a chance that Navi can do some real economic damage because there was only one player surviving, right? So if they can get this one, the lost bonus situation, we've had 4-round streak from that of ENCE and a 3-round streak of Navi, then 1 on the board for ENCE. So this is a chance to keep them honest.
How many times will this happen? This could be the rivalry we've been waiting for.
Yeah, can we just leave Australia at home?
We haven't necessarily had an incredible rivalry since Navi Luminosity. There's been a few here and there, but none that lasted long. That one went like, I think final at the end of that was like 12-8 in favor of Luminosity. It started out like 8-2 in favor of Navi, but they played each other a lot in that space and always in important matches. This is another one, just like that semi. Close game, incredible moment, near clutch with a tenacious play. I could get used to this.
45 seconds left on the clock. Another slower approach by Navi, just making sure no aggression can come in. The bomb is towards the box holes. There are 2 players on that side of the map right now for ENCE. And it looks like Zeus has told the troops that's where they want to go. So Electronic, if he wins this duel, oh, he's going to get spammed down. X7 has got the better of him time and time again. I would love to see with those opening deaths how many of them were given by X7, because he's been getting the better of this, which has allowed ENCE to have not freebies, but the relaxed nature of 5v4s in their favor. Will be the inside hit.
Sergey, good position, but now reveals where he is. That allows Flamey to trade it. Simple will try and get high up, but climbing up the ladder, he's unaware that they're already inside of the site. Smoke's not enough to hold off Alexi B. I think he was a little bit ahead of himself in that situation. Caught in the open with no response. Edwards down on 24, and he's the last alive. As X7 gets toward the bomb, I don't even think he's out. He's gone. That's 13-11 now for ENCE. Not to. How's the heart rate? Presumably the caffeine at this hour for him is not helping either. So let's spare a thought.
What are we at? Probably about 6 a.m. right now, I think it is. 10 past 6 in the morning, CET. Well, he'd probably be awake at this hour anyway.
Yeah, he'd be awake, yeah.
I don't think you get much sleep when you get the Rugrats out. But Navi will be able to get a buyback on the board, and this time it will be the AWP for Simple again. They went for 5 rifles just there, and they weren't able to find any openings across the map, so things might loosen up in their approach. They've been doing a fair bit of late round play. And with the risks of the late round play, it's hoping that you force them around the map enough, or that they're out of position, or they don't have enough utility, or that your execute lands perfectly. Well, any mistakes, we know we've seen Navi in the past with very slow approaches that have either made them look brilliant or made them look a little bit silly, but it is going to be that inside approach straight away off the bat. So there's a real chance if they can get Simple comfortably posted up on the low ramp, that in transition he can get anybody coming through connector. He can win this duel potentially against that of Alu. That smokes him by roughly 20 seconds. And look, Electronic again. I just watch him on the radar. He just goes straight into every smoke. He absolutely loves it.
Haven't seen really that much smoke play since Stewie.
Have they canceled this?
Roka used to do it, Rush a bit.
Okay, now
seems so.
Yeah, they've changed their plan, because it looked like they wanted to go, but when that flash from Alu that we were on board for came from Hump and it landed just in front of Electronic's face, it was enough to scare him away. They've had to go back and check to make sure that there's been no aggression from team A flanking the white walls. And now that they know that, this is another late execute. So Alexi's close enough to be that third man to the side. I think he wants to cheat on over. He's got that feeling.
Slow to react on the off that time. Couldn't land it. Sergey sprays in. Simple does at least get one back.
The bomb's down.
And you're right, it is. It's not yet planted. They've got to cross it over. Nade deep. No one low enough. Doesn't take anyone further, but Zeus gets Sergey. Now we're starting to see Navi getting some space, or are they? Zeus was tagged up. He goes down to the nade. It's all on Simple. He's got 2 more to find. He's got 2 already, and he doesn't have time to plant the bomb. Gets off, and he thought he was 2 in the open, and he is on exit. Aerials all over him, and it's 14 now for ENCE. What a turnaround. We said it in the first half when they were down. We've seen late comebacks from them. Don't rule them out. Well, they had to come back in the first half to get back to 8-7, and now it's 7-3 this time.
We spoke about those difference makers, right? And the first time these guys went toe-to-toe at the major, I've mentioned it once, I'll mention it again in case you're just joining us. Both pistol rounds did go in the favor of Navi. This time, both pistol rounds have gone in the favor of ENCE. That round, the Electronic, if he had won that, sure. He didn't really have any say in that round at all, but his brilliance, his individual play, gave them stock. And then trying to be too stylish, trying to be too flashy towards the end there. Not playing the fundamentals of CS. It might come back to haunt him, because his team right now is sitting down 14-11. The plant means that they don't all have enough money to buy. They can drop a couple of guns over. Electronic only has 3,500. So maybe if Zeus buys an AK, he can drop it to Electronic. Electronic can give him a Galil in exchange. That would be one little solution for this problem that they have right now. Oh, Electronic's just gone Kevlar. He hasn't even worried about, you know, potentially dropping weapons over. It's just the AK in hand. So he won't have any utility to go off. Simple will have a little bit. Flamey, Edward, almost everything they need. And Zeus, well, he has a decoy. So I think that tells you more than enough about his level of buy. this could be it. ENCE have done enough. They've weathered the storm. That's what it feels like when you go up against Navi. They want to keep your economy low. They want to keep the rounds tight. If you can make them tilt while surviving the tilt rounds, you stay in a fantastic position to win the map. And this is the first of the best of 3. Once again, second map will be Inferno. Different 3 maps to what we saw last time round. Train is the only one reoccurring. But we've had an entertaining beginning to the day nonetheless. Very passive approach again from Navi here. You can see there's not even any pressure at all towards Ivy. They're playing outside of team main. They really want to clear out this pop dog position. That seems to be priority number 1 right here. They've missed the Molotovs, so maybe some reinitiation into this as they're going to exchange their own grenades.
Just going to scurry them back up the ladder. It almost resets the position. Electronic actually wants to get down as fast as he possibly can, but Ariel, the missed Molotov didn't actually affect anything directly, but it's the thought afterward that they said, okay, hey, they have missed that. We can take advantage of it. No one was there originally. They go in after it. It'll be back to basics. Totem drop instead, and the shot, Ariel, ooh, as he was leaving, somehow he gets away with 24 HP. He'll sit in the open at E-Box. Alexi B has to hold off and support him. Slightly further back, Ariel still to do it with low HP. Electronic gets 1, but he's traded. There it is, Alexi B in great position. Alu is going to put them closer to map point, and in fact, they will get there. As Zeus falls, it's 15-11.
Well, with the context of Navi potentially not taking ENCE as lightly as what they would have over at the Major, or all the teams kind of being blown away by their performance, kind of makes this win.
Is this a new nemesis?
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more impressive though, doesn't it? To do it in a form that's not a 16-14.
Is this the Holly home to Ronda Rousey? The one team, the one fight that came along?
Well, if it's anything like Ronda, it's anything like Ronda, I don't know what the equivalent of WWE is for
that's
Counter-Strike, but
I wouldn't compare acting to sports.
Oh, sorry.
X7, nade out. It's all banter. Flamey will back it off. Electronic doesn't want to pursue any further. That nade was quite close. You know, he's got a challenge against him. Simple down early as well. That's the man you want to find. Again, though, how quiet has he been in the second half?
Yeah.
He's only got 18. Remember, he was 14-5 when it was 7-1. I suppose that's not true. When it was 7-3, because he was getting the exit kills then, but not the same game you'd expect. Sure, the kill totals are there, and he's near enough to the top, but it's the impact that's been missing.
Yeah, and X7 is actually having a banger of a game. He's won some very big
jewels. Stage player, man.
Yeah, he's been winning some very big jewels for this team.
At least 1 pulled back. In fact, 2. X7 and Ariel gone. Edward, high side of B, just gonna walk in, but Alu, I'm afraid, ooh, is ready. Didn't take the bait on the first one, and Edward gave him quite a large target on the second peak.
Yeah, strange that they're going for that with the bomb in the box hole, and there was actually no way for Zeus to really help, because unless he dropped the bomb and then forced him way into the site, the rotation of Electronic and Flamey was way too far away. But they will be going back towards the outside position. Alexi B in team main. When you speak about Nemesis in this round, he might be more than that, because this is a difficult play. All 3 players are going to have to come through Pop Dog. There's only 15 seconds left on the clock as they're going to make their way out. They're going to get wrecked here in the back. 1, 2. And Zeus up against it. This one should be done and dusted.
That was a checkmate move. Hold off, and he wants to try and get the bomb down. Alexi B does the 3rd as well. So swift, gets in, takes away the map. They ran back, they ran right by him. And ENCE get Train. The map they fell to Astralis on in the Major final, despite giving them a bit of a run late, goes their way against Navi.
Some very sweaty moments in that game right there, but I guess we talk about the Finns being cool under pressure, or at least looking that way, and they're able to do it yet again. A bit more of a convincing victory to the 16-14 from the Major. We do have map number 2 of Inferno, which will be coming up the pick of Navi. We have to see what they've prepared, but before we can get there, we need to head to the analyst desk, an ad break, and then we'll be back to bring you all the action of map number 2.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
Place your bets at Csgo.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at Csgo.bet.
It certainly wasn't easy for ENCE, but it certainly was easier when it comes to Train. A bit of a more convincing win this time around to open up map 1 against Navi, but it's not all as it may seem, right? You look at some of the things we've got to start off with here, especially when it comes to the side of Navi, and that inside bomb site was super weak. Despite, okay, yes, Zeus is there, but you also had Simple to back him up. What went wrong?
I mean, time and time again, ENCE found out that inside was the weak point of Navi, and as much as you want to blame Zeus for not being able to hold it, it is potentially one of the hardest spots in the entire game to control by yourself. So what you want to do is you want to have some backup in there, Maniac.
No, definitely. I think it's undeniable that Zeus didn't do enough that game, right? There is no way around it. As a B anchor, you need to be at least good for 1 or 2. So sure, I'll give the people that.
Sure.
But what I want to address is that as a team, you're supposed to be able to find solutions when this happens, right? You have many mechanisms that you can use. You can either bring someone with him all the time, so you play in a 3-2 setup. You can try and be aggressive. For example, the AWP higher is a possibility. You can even gamble in a passive way. Say, okay, you take some information IV, then you go 3 inside. So my point is, yes, Zeus didn't do enough, but Navi should have found a solution as a team.
And this is where I want to give ENCE some credit as well, because I think we did see Navi try to do something about this. They tried to be a little bit more aggressive outside. I thought Electronic push up in towards T main, but ENCE was very aware that was going to happen. So they knew that they had to force out a reaction from Navi, and whenever that reaction came, ENCE was prepared for it. So in that regard, you got to give credit to ENCE, because they were really shutting Navi down after that point.
Now we talk about this inside bomb site, right? And yes, Zeus is not just a problem, it's a whole team decision that needs to come into this. But we've seen it before where they decide to move Zeus just for a couple of rounds and see, okay, are you just going to hunt him around? This time they stuck to it, and well, look at the result.
Well, I'm going to be honest, I think that's a bit of an extreme scenario, right? But we know Navi can potentially pull that off. That could have been an option here. And Jacob is right, we should also give credit to ENCE, because even in that inside bomb side, 3 or 4 rounds there, these are not the same rounds every time. ENCE switch up things a little bit. Is the main force lower ramp? Is the main force higher? Is it at the beginning of the round? Is it at the middle of the round? Do we throw nades, or do we just go brute force? So my point is, ENCE, they were also switching things up. It wasn't just 4 times the same rounds. They changed it up.
Yeah. And one thing I'll say, right, when you're watching ENCE, I'm never that scared, even if they lose a player early on, because we had everyone from Alexiv, X7, Ariel, Sergey, Alu had his moments as well. This was a true team performance, and something that I feel is giving them a massive edge now over Navi.
And you got to see that, especially on ENCE's CT side. Even though Navi would have been able to close that inner bomb side down, maybe get away with 10 or 11 rounds in that CT side, ENCE was dominating that CT side themselves. They were being very aggressive, especially towards outside. This was like a very typical ENCE performance. Always shutting down T-main, always trying to push a guy in there, not giving Navi any space to work with. So either Navi had to play super fast, which ENCE was prepared for, or they had to wait out the rounds and play super slow, which then led into ENCE being in very favorable positions on that CT side. So overall, even though Navi would have had a good CT side themselves, ENCE was just playing better on both sides.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you think about it, what Electronic had to do, and we see here on the graphic, right? 30 kills. What this man had to do for Navi to win a round on the T side was insane. The first gun round they win is Electronic with double entry fragging out of team mid. You can never really bank on that.
Sure.
He had that crazy 4K where he just loses the 1v1 against Alu at the end. The round was insane. So we have to commend that man for that performance, but that just wasn't enough.
No, and that's it, right? We talk about Electronic and Simple being able to be so deadly, but they need those two to fire off at the same time, or at least together on a big impact level. Now, when it comes down to it, right, we saw the player cams there. You can see how frustrated Navi were getting, because there was many of these rounds that went right to the wire or close to a potential that Navi could have taken a few back.
And I think what frustrates them the most is the way they lose, because I'm sure you can attest to this as well as a player, because it felt like Navi had no answer to what they were facing, right? A lot of the rounds you saw them forcing through a smoke, going out of pop dog, going out of T-main, being shut down straight away. And as a player, you feel you never get into the round. You feel you don't have a realistic chance of making that headshot or making that kill that could turn it around for you. And that is such a frustrating feeling, especially if you're a Simple, especially if you're considered the best player in the world. And you sit back with a feeling that I didn't even get a chance to show that I was the best player in the world. I just got shut down by a team that overall were just playing way better than my own team.
Now, going into Inferno, the map pick of Navi, somewhere where we see as quite a middle ground for both teams, right? In this day and age, everyone can play Inferno. How difficult is this going to be for ENCE? Is this the question of have Navi work something out here? Because honestly, after that performance, I'm a little bit scared for Navi.
Obviously, you got to be scared after seeing that, but I would say this. ENCE, I would not use the same terms to describe them as I would on other maps. Right? I think, as we said, tactical maps, nuke, overpass, train, it feels like they're one step ahead, or at least on top of the meta, and they utilize all tactical aspects of the map. On Inferno, I would pretty much rate them as a just above average team, because obviously they're still a good team, they're still the same lineup, and the communication and all these elements are still here. But when it comes to the map specifically, I wouldn't put them that high up. So Navi, on the other hand, Inferno has been a famous map for them, maybe not on top of the game at the moment. They've had crazy good wins at very important tournaments on Inferno. So yes, it is a little bit scary looking at the first map, but Navi are by no means out of this best of 3.
Sure, and I think Navi is a team that always plays up to the caliber of their opponents as well. You look by these scorelines, right? A 16-3 loss against Vici, that was a little bit of an off game for Navi. You can't really put too much emphasis on that. Whereas the heroic loss was at a LAN tournament as well. But it seems to me like Navi always play up to the level of their opponents when it comes into Inferno. As you also can see, convincing wins against FaZe and G2. It is a Navi team that likes to play Inferno, and they have a clear idea of how they want to utilize the electronic and the symbols of the team.
Now, when it is coming down to utilizing the electronics and symbols of the team, we also need the other members of this team to pick up as well, especially when we've got at least every member of ENCE performing up to their level, right? And that's the bit that I'm really worried about, because normally we can say, oh, there's 1 or 2 players that may drop off, or not say underperform, but not be just fragging out. But this seems like everyone on ENCE is super hungry, not to prove that the first win they had back at the Major against Navi was a real legit win, that this one is as well.
I mean, obviously, you know, having a full roster capable of making the difference is one of the quality of ENCE at the moment. So is the quality of every team at the top Counter-Strike so far, right? Now you think about Navi. Of course, Electronic just had a monster performance this first half. Simple is always going to be Simple, that's pretty safe. Where are the other 3? Obviously, we pointed out that Zeus had lackluster performance. There's no way around that. But we need to see Flamey, we need to see Edward. They need to pull their weight. Otherwise, ENCE just might go 2-0 on this series.
Hey, it's a possibility. We'll be finding out very soon. Thank you very much, guys. The flames of Inferno are swarmed around Navi, but can they jump out of it and take us to a third? We're going to a quick break, and we'll be finding out whether this will be the decider or not.
Place your bets at Gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at Gg.bet.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Great and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
Kane from Navi joins me now. And Kane, first of all, congratulations on your team making the playoffs. So what did you think of their performance in the group stage?
Мы начинали не очень хорошо на этом турнире, но надо понимать, что у нас не было официальных матчей с тех пор, как мы выступали на мажоре. И наша команда получила очень болезненное поражение, немножко где-то даже потеряла уверенность в своих силах. Но сейчас мы вернулись, и мы чувствуем, что опять мы можем выиграть.
It surprises me you saying Navi lacking confidence. That's totally something I would never associate with Navi. They always seem so strong on LAN. And I would love to know also about your practice before you came to Shanghai, because I heard that it was only 6 days or a week.
Да, мы готовились не так много, как, допустим, к мажору, но надо понимать, мы знали, что это будет долгий турнир, и мы всегда очень много работаем именно во время турниров. Плюс впереди у нас поездка в Майами, а потом буквально сразу же и Лондон, поэтому мы чуть-чуть сократили подготовку, но мы понимали, что мы будем работать здесь и наберем свою лучшую форму.
So what are the things that you are focusing on in your practice?
Counter-Strike постоянно меняется и развивается, и бывает такой момент, что вроде ты играешь хорошо, а буквально через неделю ты уже понимаешь, что у тебя есть проблемы на определенных картах. Поэтому мы просто старались подтянуть свои слабые места, да, и не потерять свои сильные стороны, как-то так.
And how are the team communicating in-game at the moment?
Я думаю, что коммуникация – это один из ключей успеха в Counter-Strike. И мы не молодая команда, как бы довольно-таки опытная. Мы нашли определенный ключ в коммуникации, и я думаю, что у нас все хорошо с ним.
Kane, you mentioned that the loss to ENCE at the major in the semi-finals knocked the confidence of the team. You'll be playing them in the quarter-finals. So how are you getting the team ready for this rematch?
Я думаю, что несмотря на то, что мы проиграли ENCE в полуфинале, мы были сильнее, чем они, и мы допустили ошибку. Прошло время, и я вижу прогресс в их игре. Они стали лучше. Но мы сделали выводы, и мы хотим взять реванш.
Спасибо, Kane. Хорош, and good luck in your match against ENCE.
Well, luck is going to be one aspect that is required. They're down a map already. They lost Train. They lost at a crucial clutch situation. Electronic can't really fault him. It was good movement.
Indeed.
Kind of would have caught Aloe off, I'm sure. And he created his luck in that situation as well, because he brought it down from what was a 1 versus 3. They now have to switch focus entirely to Inferno. It's the team that beat them in the major semi. They want to make amends with that. They want to get revenge for it, surely, and they want to make it through to the semi, which comes up immediately after.
Yeah, good sign, and that is Electronic, the man on your screen right here. Getting the massage from Eugene, the manager, is that he had a fantastic first map. He was playing phenomenally well. He was finding a lot of space, finding a lot of opening kills, finding a lot of impact. And if he'd won that round, that would have been a miracle play, would have been top of Reddit, would have been something to just scream and shout all over. Then they could be in a different story right now. Train could have gone either way, or we could have had a closer affair. We might even still be commentating on that one right now. But moving on to Inferno, we have to note of a couple of things of both teams that have been tendencies of late, or things that they've changed up. One of the things I noticed with ENCE on their CT side is they don't tend to cheat 3 players towards the top of Banana unless you force them to do that, right? That's something which they are just happy to have their standard 2-3 hold, unless they've addressed that in recent times and decided to change that up from the previous matches that I've seen of them in recent times. And then you have, obviously, Navi, who they've been switching things up a lot on Inferno for the longest time. For such a while, it was like, okay, well, we can just put Simple Banana, we can put him B on his own, and we can stack 4 players towards A. But having Simple now playing that Arch side and Flamey and Zeus actually doing the lion's share of the B holding has allowed Simple to be a little bit more free, sporadic in his movements as well. It's harder to read the player on the Arch side. He can be quad, he can go over towards B when he wants to, he can go apps, he can do whatever he feels the need to do. And you have Electronic and Edward being the rocks over towards the balcony and the site. So those things are to note with the changes on the CT sides at least. And we are going to get underway with the knife round here to decide who's going to be starting where. Obviously, in the StarSeries format, if you're just joining us, they knife for sides on every map. It's not just a third and final decider.
I'm not sure I love that. A few events that have done that in the past year. I guess, I mean, it puts a skill in a knife round, so if you want to get your side, you got to win it. But at the same time, if it's your map pick, you should be better on it, so the other team should get the side.
There's a
it's minuscule, but I think I still prefer the other.
The argument for it, I spoke to LMBT about this, and he said that, you know, when you know that the other team gets to pick the side, most teams won't be risky in their map choices, right? So you won't pick very CT heavy-sided teams when you have a map, because when you know that you can do it and have a knife round, then you still have a shot to potentially start on that CT side.
What if you suck at knife rounds?
Well, I don't know. Get working on it.
Okay.
It can't be a difficult skill, surely.
I don't think ENCE has ever won one.
Neither do run boosts.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about on the knife rounds.
Run boosts. Did they win that one? I wasn't even paying attention. Maybe I said they never won one and they just won that one.
Maybe they've been winning them all.
Maybe they had. No. I don't think so.
Having some GoTV
I would
issues
know
again
if
today,
they were
Matt,
winning them all, Chad.
I can't let you know what's going in the server right this instant, but we should be getting underway very shortly. This is a map where, you know, I used to praise Zeus a lot for his impact that he would have in the crossfire with Electronic over towards A. Those two were with the anchors. They actually had, I think it was Edward and Simple were the 2 players over towards B, and Flamey was the outside. So they've had a lot of moving and shaking around.
They've switched the chairs in the booth, I just noticed. Yesterday we had those big square ones.
Maybe it's player preference?
I was going to say, Matt, I wonder if the players requested that, or maybe they're just trying to showcase all their different chairs.
Well, I noticed...
Maybe we'll have another one tomorrow.
I noticed MBK during the group stage, he was on the big one, and then he was the only player on the big one yesterday when Vitality played. So maybe he just likes it.
Maybe he'll order one.
He's got broad shoulders.
Well, if he had broad shoulders, he could carry his team, but he never does, so. I'm kidding. I like Nathan.
Do you think he looks a little bit like Carl from Walking Dead?
Don't watch The Walking Dead, I'm afraid.
Well, Navi will be starting on the CT side of this one, and
I think
will be starting
on
the T side. Sergey is going to buy into the utility this time round. Molotov and 2 flashes. Everybody else has Kevlar. Alexi B is yet to buy yet. On the other side of things, 4 sets of Kevlar. Zeus makes that 5. So not many grenades this time round, and no defuse kit in play at all. Sergey will be the man. And he might be using that Molotov very early. He will to hold back this banana play. So it's going to be quick towards A. It's going to be a relative direct approach.
Yeah, Simple's there, though. Oh, very quick approach from Simple. Quick spray. Had to try and shut down X7, who was jumping. Edward helps him do that. Steps out, in fact, finds a second. Round starts with Simple, and he may only get 1. But, oh, I take that back. He did find a second, did he not? Must have been as we snapped over to look at Edward on the arch side. But Alexi is all that's left.
You think Simple hurt us, Matt?
Bomb. Maybe. Maybe me calling him out last game.
He was held to quite a quiet scoreline, all things considered, and the way that he was getting some of those certain kills were just on save rounds. So limiting his deaths. Alexi B, 1-on-5 situation. Just going to walk towards B. He's been spotted. The bomb will have been called now. He can get that nice grip, and Zeus will make the shot. It's going to be 5 headshots to close out round number 1. Armor is going to be held through on several players who weren't in duels at all, so the upgrade to head armor is a lot less of an investment. For those of you who weren't aware of that, if you can win the pistol round and not take any damage on your Kevlar, upgrading to head armor is nowhere near expensive. So these little things in Counter-Strike, they make the difference in the long run. We're going to see an M4 and an AUG come out, Simple with the AUG, Edward with the M4, 3 UMPs, a spree of grenades going up against just a Deagle for Alu. Everybody else on the side of the bench up to the Glocks. Well, the Deagle's gone. And who's going to get it next?
No one. Simple says no. Simple might say a lot more than that. Headshot on X7 at least landed. Sergey gets back in the end.
I think Simple's mad.
Deagle. Is he?
just the way he's playing in a very, hey...
mad in a motivated way.
Yeah, not like tilted or anything. Like,
not mad,
I'm
crazy,
frustrated
not
at
angry.
myself, and now I'm going to just go and destroy these guys, kind of mad. Because he did make that tweet. Something about carry mode, I think it was.
Carry mode. I like it. It's like device going into Deva.
So they've done one lick of damage with the Deagle, the Allo board, and Sergey picked it up and rung true. If he can find another one, the reason he can't, it's such a scary pistol. This used to be the only go-to back in the day. This used to be all you could rely on these type of rounds. If you didn't buy a Deagle, you just had Glocks. You couldn't invest in anything else. It was what, the compact. Nobody used the Julies unless it was a meme. And we didn't even call it memes back then, Matt. We just called them jokes.
I know. I like the word joke is just for, nah, you're too old. You say joke, you're an old man.
Yeah.
Just memeing. No, you're just joking. A meme is a specific thing. Flamey and Zeus. They'll close out the round. 2-0 for Navi. ENCE with no bomb plants in either round are still in a position to buy. It's just that Deagle carried in. But buy they shall, AWP they shall not. AK is presumably on all 5, or does Alu elect to stay with the pistol and maybe pick up a deceased teammate's gun in hopes that he'll get an AK in the next round? I think, okay, you got a Galil. Because he was a little bit light on money to go utility and AK. Smoke. Top down. He's going to get one, but he's got to back into that smoke and hope that they don't spread through. It's away with 59. That's not bad, all things considered. That could have been a lot worse, considering the play. And a good read to push the edge of the smoke, knowing that the flames wouldn't spread any further. He could step into it for a moment and take down Zeus, because all that deep utility meant they wanted banana control. That sets the tempo pretty early that they're not going to get it quite as easy as they might hope.
It's only 2 kills so far for ENCE. I know they're only 3 rounds in, but I think both have come from Sergey.
Second, Simple has certainly shown up on Inferno so far. Electronic swinging back out. Has to be careful from the front of Library. They're already at the arch side, or excuse me, the quad side. His teammates are already at the arch side. And X7 inside of the pit will hold for post plant. Sergey's even, in fact, going to get up toward Boiler, see if he can cut off the cross from alt middle. Maybe even just play toward the balcony. Either way, he doesn't have to move until information is gained and garnered from his teammates.
Oh, well, they are so indecisive right now on whether they want to go for it or not.
Simple's out of there. He's 8 HP. He says no.
But look at Flamey.
I know. It's an interesting call. You'd think he'd still want to be there to trade, would he not? Flamey's gone. That confirms that they'll have to back out. But that's a bit surprising. I would have thought he'd stuck around maybe in spawn, see if they get a pick, and then he's at least there to trade off of.
Yeah, and I thought they might actually go for it because they did so many saves in that first map on their CT side. They might have looked back at that and gone, hey guys, we didn't give ourselves enough of a chance to actually win rounds. Maybe we need to change that approach this time. So you could see as there were 2 players towards the arch side, 2 pushing up lane, well, towards quad over the brackets or top mid walls, that maybe they were going to go for it. But Simple on 8 HP, he thought better of it, and I guess that he's the man who sets a little bit more than the tempo. Had them dart on back, and Flamey probably hanging around with the UMP trying to get himself an AK or an upgraded gun. So you can see there why he did it, because now he's able to buy on in. He's got himself an M4. Otherwise, he would have been stuck with that UMP in this round. So might be some logic, because he does tend to get left as that B anchor when Zeus has to float back. 3 towards top of Banana early for Navi here. Let's see if they can actually take control this time without going down a man. Simple will be there to help him with utility. He's used the lion's share of his straight away. So you can see that he just has a flash left. From this point on, Simple is really just gun out, ready to frag. Great grenade work there. Alexi and Sergey going to get chunked on down. We've got 37 points of health for Alexi, and Sergey's on 45. And we talk about, at least historically, because the M4s, the dink, it isn't enough with 1 bullet, and you want to soften them up a little bit. The revolution of utility ever since the Stars have shown us how to use it perfectly has been something that has been heavily monitored. ENCE will now with a minute on the clock. We saw them actually in an Inferno game where they had the vitality loss, remember? The next game they played, it just felt like they were dry running their T side of this map time and time again. It was the same play, round after round. They were getting banana control, whether it was early or whether it was late, and then they were just doing executes across the map, and they were doing it, you know, the 45-second mark, the 30-second mark, and they were making it happen. So we've seen a lot of the T side from ENCE in this tournament thus far.
7. Wants to be the one to cross over the arch. He's got to look left. Simple's actually giving the gap to him. Timing off. He pays a heavy price for it. Once again, it's X7 that takes him down. He isn't done there. He'll find Andrew. They'll find Electronic. Sergey with the kill. That's fantastic. Look at the HP. So low, so close, but yet so far from Navi.
And Navi have to save, right? I said that Simple was just going to be gun on for the rest of the round after using all of his utility there, right? The fact that he still gets caught with the timing like that, it's normally what you try to avoid, or avoids itself when there's nothing else to work with. Obviously the flashbang, but those two big kills right there from X7 onto that A bomb site. Once again, it's similar scenes to what we saw on Train. They went for explosion plays towards the inner bomb site. They took down Zeus or whoever else was there in tow with him, and that was all they needed to force Navi to stay modest, sit back and save the gun. So just having a look at these two teams, because they've both been around for quite an extended period of time. Electronic joining Navi in late 2017, if I remember rightly. They went on to win DreamHack Winter with him in that squad. They've played Inferno on LAN as a unit 50 times with a 58% win rate. Now, ENCE have been a team with this roster for 1 year, obviously not as long as the Navi side of things. They're Inferno on LAN. They have played it 18 times, which makes sense because they would have been attending less the LAN events, in especially the infancy stages. Yeah. And they've won it for 72%. Obviously Navi with a lot more, but I spoke about all those changes that they've had recently, especially in their CT-sided holds. I know that Simple on the T side, he's doing more of a supportive position at the start of the round to allow Electronic and Zeus to fight Banana. He's throwing the grenades to them. So lots of different changes, and it's at least resonated in a more team-based Navi. Sure, Simple and Electronic, they still have massive numbers, but it feels like it's less on the idea of, there was such a period of time there where Navi was just, let's get guns in these two guys' hands and try and make room and go from there. Now it feels like there's more of a tactical approach with that element still in play. Yep. So they blended those two types of Counter-Strike together, which is quite nice to see.
Slower start to this game. Navi CT. We know that their T side on Inferno can be quite, I don't know, maple syrup uphill.
I can imagine that doesn't go very far.
Not in Canada when it's also freezing. XCB. Behind the logs with Zeus to be season. And the scope on the AUG makes no mistake to put him down as a result. A deep. Do further damage? No, it didn't actually. I thought it might catch Sergey on the way by, but not quite. It went a little too far. Sergey, speaking of, will then take the chance to try and take the ground back inside of it. And they backed off into the site. They've got the man advantage. They don't really have a need to stay so far forward. Meanwhile, it's just about finding a pick and a return and equalizer for ENCE. Sergey's got Zeus. That's a good entry. That's exactly what they wanted. Now, they're almost forced to rotate. They aren't, because there's still activity toward A. Instead, they're going to try and fight top middle. Simple's down to aerial, but Sergey's still trying to get inside of the site. Might fall in return. He gets low, 24.
Flamey's getting flanked here. Does he know?
You're absolutely right. Alu snuck through as soon as the reload came in, as soon as Flamey took the damage. And he took the time.
He's got no idea.
Oh, he's done. This could even be a knife for Alu. He can build up some cash for the AWP, and he'll do exactly that. Flamey's gone. Edwin and Electronic are as well. They're going to back out surely and get away with their weapons.
They have to go for a round eventually, though, Matt. They can't keep saving. They just can't. You know, I know it's still early stages, but you have to put up a fight at some point, because ENCE are just going to keep running away with these rounds by letting them stay alive, by not going for exits, by not challenging at all. Sure, you're allowing yourself to potentially have more gun rounds going forward. I understand the loss bonus is building. But on Train, it came back to haunt them, right? You think about the string, that slew of rounds that they couldn't even get back into. They really didn't even give themselves a chance to retake. You know, you see certain teams, you look at MIBR as an example, at least historically when they were Luminosity and SK Gaming, and then you had the change of time from 1 minute 45 to 1 minute 55. You didn't necessarily, once the bomb went down, just run straight in there, right? You would actually just wait a little bit longer and see if they would push or get a little bit antsy in the retake situation. Well, Navi aren't even staying close enough to get antsy. Well, take advantage of the ants in the pants.
To get ENCE?
Yes, but look, I was just bringing up some stats for ENCE now. These last 6 months on LAN, it's between the top 20 teams in the world. One stat that ENCE has on their T side of this map, they are the best team in the world right now with the trade percentage. That's a pretty good stat to have on your T side of any map. Let's have it on Inferno. We're going to see how that one plays one out. But contrastingly, when you look at the overall for Navi, their 4v5 percentage is second only to that of Astralis, and ENCE in their 4v5s after they lose the opening kill is quite low. So if they don't get the opening kill and trade immediately, pressure is on ENCE. Like it was in that round, they didn't trade immediately, but Csgo got them back in it yet again. This time, the hero of the last will fall. Flame's going to give himself away almost for free there. Zeus is going to rattle some bullets off, do a little bit of damage, but he's going to get pumped on down to 54 points of health. Edward up close and personal in his apps position with the shotgun. He might have to deal with X7, who isn't pushing. He's kind of just doing that. It's not really a lurking job, but anchoring this position for information to make sure that nobody is able to push past the precipice of boiler and window room or halls, or even down mid for a flank. So he's, you know, getting information, but he's also acting as the canary in the coal mine if there is a bit of trouble. This is going to be a big duel.
And he could strike if they went back over toward B on the rotations. Oh my, Edward! That's how you use a shotgun.
They're going arch side here, so if they wrap onto A, Simple's actually hidden in graveyard. He could pounce late with Edward baiting from pit, and if they go mid to B, they have to deal with two players passive on the side. It will be the wrap. Simple just needs to hide. Yeah,
and he's doing exactly that. He's holding it off inside of graveyard. They'll know there'll be one inside a pit because the smoke was thrown out.
Edward's not baiting for him anymore, though.
The smoke kind of does, though, because they're going to have to rotate around. They're going to have to go that far, and Ariel's going to think that if he jumps up over top of graveyard, he might be able to clear pit. And Simple was there for it. The problem is they lost Edward ahead of time. Bomb planted still. Edward trying, or excuse me, Simple trying to wait for his teammates on the bottom side of mid. Quick peek to the site, didn't see Alexi B on top of the box. They won't see Alu in the cubby, but there's a second one there. Zeus needs to trade off of this. He absolutely has to because Simple lost his duel. And ENCE win the rounds.
Felt like a perfect little trap there after Ed was able to get that big kill in halls with the shotgun up close and personal, but just in the details right there, it really looked like the setup was perfect, but as soon as Edward put his attention elsewhere on the map, Simple's position gets neutered a little bit. The smoke, he couldn't pick and try and fight the planter. We'll be buying on into this. Flame, he's quite late. He's going to buy a UMP. Zeus is even later. He hasn't purchased. Oh, I'm a little bit later on the Go TV. Let's go off the main feed. He has purchased. He has the AUG and a flashbang in hand. Business as usual here for ENCE. The default spread. Just another day at the office as they take banana control. Sergey leading the way. 4 players towards banana this time round, so maybe it'd be a more direct approach to the B hit because they have been defaulting pushing back B and then leaning over towards the A site. They do have Simple here with the AWP, but they don't have enough utility to slow this down, so they're going to have to play in front of the utility that's going to come over from ENCE any second now. It looks like it is just going to be the B hit.
Ariel just holding it off. It's buying time. 2 smokes still to work with, 3 flashes. Lead on the T side that might amount to more. They're just taking map control, setting up, and running the gauntlet on Navi. But this time the gauntlet gets a strike back as Zeus finds one edge of the smoke. Did he get the second? He did. My goodness. He found Ariel as well. Crossing it does actually evade Zeus, though, because he was on reload. That means they clear out water, and that costs them dear. How? Because then they get the crossfire back. They're able to trade it back into a 3-on-3.
No kit.
Simple has to cover the cross with the bomb down. Smokes are gone. That gives him the shot. X7 falls immediately. That bomb is a problem. It's sitting in the open. It is a magnet. And Simple is happy to play that game. So is Ali. We'll find Edward at least. Try to fake anything? Try and bait it out.
It's going to go now.
A lot of HP, and Simple removes what's left of it.
Whew. Always a tense moment. And that's the way we like it. Scoreline 4-3. In the favor of ENCE here. This is map number 2. Maybe we'll see some more fight coming out from Navi now. That was big by Zeus. You have to think about those 2 kills that he had. Sure, I know in transition there, they were able to trade it up and make it a 3v3, but he obviously did more than enough to allow the remainder of the Navi players to settle on in. Simple to get to work with the big green. He's going to come in again. This time ENCE still sitting more than pretty. 5 AKs on the board, no AWP in the hands. Mr. Alu. Just to note, the winner of this series will be playing immediately after versus Renegades. So the longer these games go, if they become drawn out, if it's, you know, a 3-mapper, if it's a thriller in Manila or Shanghai, then the players might be feeling a little bit tiresome, but that was at their own choice. And as we discussed, it's not a bad choice at all, because if you are to win, and then you have to play the last best of 3 of the day, you could be hanging around for a 3-map series in the other game.
Makes the day pretty long.
Yeah, I'd prefer to stay warmed up, you know, go for a quick little break and get back on into things. So it's the choice that we've gone for.
ENCE Renegades could be juicy for all the reasons that Maniacs brought to light. The fact that they were the only team to beat Astralis on a map at the Major. That was overtime, by the way. That's how close Astralis were to being unbeaten entirely.
It was like a third as well, like CT half from Renegades, right? And then it came all the way back.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Or it was the other way around, but either way.
It's just ridiculous that it went to overtime. No team has ever won a Major without dropping a map, and they were that close to doing it. So it speaks volumes about Astralis, but it also, like I say, ENCE came close on stream but didn't actually get one. There's lots of people that come close, but you got to beat them. That's the hard part. So is there an argument that Renegades
Well,
and ENCE?
That could be another rivalry.
Yeah, maybe we got Rents. Maybe they're on that level. Maybe we are underrating one team just based on who they had to play and how far they didn't go. As Zeus crosses over, gets forced out, but Edward steps up, so to Electronic inside of the pit. Edward on the site. Sergey wants to try and isolate. He will be able to do so. Nothing that Edward could do to swing wide, but he does hold the line, and it's all out with 1 HP. A tickle from Elmo would make him laugh in the worst possible way. 4-4.
Yeah, well, that's a big hold from Edward right there. Might be more than enough to put ENCE on notice with their approach right here. I liked how quick it was. Zeus, he just got away. He got out of dodge. That applied so much pressure to the 2 defenders on the A side, and they did more than enough here. So Simple's excited with that one. Need to get fired up here if they want to get stuck on in. We're going to see a buy come out from ENCE. Mac 10 for Alexi B, UMP for Ariel, AK for X7 and Sergey. AWP in the hands of Alu this time. Maybe they want to use him. See if he can find anybody from Navi overextending. Navi going to keep their hold with the 2 Augs. AK-47 for Edward. Flamey with the FAMAS. It's a rare one to come by. Even harder on a map like Inferno where the jewels don't really open themselves up here. Banana control will be taken again by ENCE with relative ease. Alexi V leading the way with Sergey just to make sure the sandbags are clear and they have full control. So the reason for this, you want to make sure that there's nobody still out in an aggressive position, because if there is, they have info that you are coming for a B execute or that you're not. And then they can cheat players over towards other sites. So by keeping them honest and by pushing them all the way back and by forcing them to use, when the clock is still above a minute, a smoke towards the top of Banana, that's great work from ENCE here, as now they go back towards the top middle. You force that utility to try and push them off of mid, and that's the next piece of real estate that you want to deal with. You want to make sure that they can't hold onto any mid positions, and then you have Banana control, mid control, and the map is your oyster.
Flash out over Chimney to complement that of the smoke, but they won't flood through just yet. Simple gives up. To go to Library. We'll give him more of a swing toward the center of the site. Electronic has to do exactly that toward the wall. They get him back through the smoke, though. Ariel with the kill and a smoke down in front of Library. Simple's gone.
Save call.
He's making some early save calls, I have to say. I don't know what sort of read into the money system they've currently got, but they are absolutely trying to stretch it out as long as possible. 4-4 now becomes ENCE's lead once again.
So here's the thing, right? If Navi want to go for more assertive plays off the bat and try and ruin the rounds for ENCE so they can't do these late round executes, they risk the danger because ENCE are doing their defaults, right? They have the protocols in place, the contingencies if the kills go down. So that's why it's such a difficult idea for Navi to go really aggressive without something set. It's not simple as, hey, I'll flash and you can pick, because if they're ready and raring, they normally have one player turned away. They normally have a player ready for those kind of angles. So Navi needs to get a little bit creative, because if they're sitting back and just getting executed on, similar scenes to what we saw on Train, right? The inner bomb site, even rounds where they had 2 players towards that side of things, they were still getting executed on. They were still being obliterated, and it wasn't enough. So they need to find an opening kill. That needs to be the change of pace. Kane needs to get on the mic. He needs to have a bit of a chat, and he says, boys, opening kills could be our way to success this time round, because that's how they won so many rounds when they're on that 7-round streak. Remember, Electronic up close mid, winning duels. Edwards was with him. They were doing a lot of work there. So we're going to see the buy come in again, this time for 2 FAMASes. So these saves are still enabling competitive rounds, but they're not competitive in terms of the excitement level, the back and forth. It's a couple of kills happen, and then they just wait for the bomb to explode. 4 players over towards B this time. This is a gamble. This is what we were talking about. They want to go forward. Completely blind. Oh, wow. There he goes. Zeus is out.
Forward of the half wall, just standing on his lonesome. 4 players there, nothing the other 3 could do. Really the best design, perhaps. And the gamble yields nothing. It's like saying all in, and then they go, Actually, we're going to fold.
Yeah, they should have pushed with him, right? But you could see the two players on the radar for ENCE who were back. That's Alexi and Alu throwing continuous flashes over to allow Sergey to continue to push forward. The flashes are going to land behind him in the air, so they get anybody looking at his position while he can just stay. Maybe he gets partially blind, but it's not too many problems for him. And now the gamble stack has been called, and they've gone over for the A stack. So if it is a B execute, ENCE win the round again. 4 guns stay up for Navi, and then we'll see another gun round again in the following. But once again, it's not a competitive, exciting round. It's just a round where ENCE have gotten 1 kill off of a risky move that Navi were unable to do as a team.
8 outs, Flamey tag 79. Seven, back turn to it. Himself up too far in. Smoke was already beginning to fade, and he didn't have a flash or anything to get him around the corner. Or at least not a teammate to help him do so. Still planted on B though, and they're going to just save once more. Rotating off of it, they confirm that there's at least one over toward the cubby, and 8 players potentially stay alive. I say potentially. Sergey's getting a little bit further down, Banana.
To the new viewers, this might seem like there's not a lot going on, right? It might seem a little bit boring. Oh, there's not a lot of firefights. But it's how the map is being played like a chessboard, right? So with 1 kill in the round, they're getting check, right? And at that point, well, Navi have to make a move of a defensive variety. They can't be aggressive because there's no avenue back in at that point. They kind of need to regroup the troops and then wait to play again. But this is what I'm saying about they need to get some fight about them, because if you are continuously losing to just 1 or 2 kills, you're not giving yourself a chance to actually fight for these rounds. You're playing the long game, but now we're round number 11, the long game, you're at the tail end of the first half now. You need to start fighting. If you want to win this, it needs to begin now, because ENCE, you give them this one as well. They're up to 7. There's no reason they can't get 8. They can throw in aggressive plays. They can change up the pace. ENCE doing a fantastic job by only getting 1 to 2 kills. What a simple solution.
So 4 rounds only so far, and they've come in sprees of 2. For Navi, who rightfully called the timeout as a result. Flamey will have an AK. Electronic on the AUG. I can tell you that Zeus and Edward both have FAMASs. And Alu on the ENCE side has the AWP. What does Simple have? I assume there's one on the ground for him.
Yeah, he's just picked it up. Alrighty, so same again. X7 aerial. They're tasked with Boyer on Hall's control. Sergey, you go take Banana on your own, mate. Alu and Alexi will throw some nades to support you. Simple's picking down mid here. We just saw that he wanted to take an aggressive stance. So now Sergey's waiting at the half wall for flashes and nades to come on in. Flamey and Zeus are posturing towards sandbags on the top of Banana. So this is a riskier play. The flashes and nades aren't doing anything right now, and all it's going to take is one perfectly placed from Alexi, which I'm sure they've dry run time and time again to blind up Zeus. That's going to force him off the line, and then all the pressure on Flamey towards the sandbag position.
Sergey still waiting it out. Flamey.
Big kill.
Absolutely wrecks Sergey. That was needed. He falls to 72. He hasn't backed off yet. Smoke down, they're going to pursue it. I don't think they have the information whether or not he has crossed, but they'll nade into it. Easy to bounce. He dodges the flash, finds a second. Very well done, but Zeus has fallen to Alu in the meantime, which means the man that would have defended his retreat is already gone. Thankfully, the smoke down means he can still get away. Flamey stays at 48. And he seems to be comfortable with that because he'll stay out. He doesn't actually want to go back to the site.
Yeah, and he has to, right? Because they need to hold on to at least some map information for once. They're able to, you know, play a 2-3 setup, but if it's passive across the map, when I talk about having real estate under your belt, it makes it so much easier for ENCE to fight and always have a number advantage. Well, this time round that they're down in a 3-on-4 situation, make that a 2-on-3 as the trade goes down with Electronic taking 1. Simple will fall to aerial. Now they're coming to the bomb site. Ooh, wow. Alu.
Run and gun. Edwards now got a lot of pressure applied. Already using the smoke to his advantage, but Alu goes pistol running and then op hunting up close to get Edward down. It's Flamey who started this round with 2 great kills. That's what forced them back over to way that has to clutch it back. Shoulder peek, forget it. Alu's on. 7 for ENCE.
At least they fought for that one that time round, but I'm not sure if that was any choice of Navi's, where it was more the across the map play and the number disadvantage round from ENCE getting pulled out of the back pocket. So not only are they getting the opening kills and walking into bomb sites with executes, they're also winning in situations where they probably shouldn't. ENCE right now are making a bit of a statement. How high can this team go? Obviously, Astralis, the bar that they've set, no one's even able to touch that. Navi have forced on in here. Electronic and Flame, you still have above 2K. Everybody else on the team is quite low on money. Edward has fully invested into an M4, A4. Simple with the Alligator. And Zeus with a UMP. So it's a menagerie of a buy right now. Alexi's opted to go for a MAC-10 because of this entry factor towards Banana. He definitely able to make that bad boy work. The Electronic. Csgo's missing there, 1 HP. X7 will have to be kept a little bit honest. He's going to drop on back. But at least they know what type of buy they're working with, at least.
Quick shots from Sergey won't land on Edward and Flamey, who are boosting backside of Emo. So they both have the same perspective, and it pays off. Unfortunately, it won't for the second as Sergey sprays in. Zeus is low, but he got tunneled on Zeus, and that allowed Flamey to get a shot when he was in the open. Now the 1 HP on X7
the
certainly
shotgun
matters, and Simple from range. It's not the 1 HP or it would have been a kill. He gets back inside of the door though, and they have to get close to him. And close they'll go. Simple will do the same in return. Everyone's low. Pistols now certainly relevant as Alu. He's got 11 kills, but only 34 HP is going to be found to the bottom of middle. In fact, take that back. It was Electronic that swung and got him, not the player coming from Banana and Zeus. And the op gets carried over. It's the 5th for Navi.
All right, they got some life in them now. Ariel, he didn't have enough money to actually buy an AK, so he went for the UMP, but Alo actually bought into an AK. So Alo could have dropped an AK in this situation, and they could have had 5 on the board. I thought maybe he was going to get the AWP up, but maybe they have a clear plan on where they want to approach. That must be the key. It's a bit of a different change this time around. Alo's actually gone over towards alt mid. Normally he's covering off T-stairs while Alexi and Sergey work Banana, but they're going for a much clearer A approach right now. Simple is poking his head on down, but this has a timer on it. Once they take Boiler, he has to drop back. And we've seen that happen just now. Smoke's going to land. And they've been able to cheat 4 players actually over towards this site, as Zeus has already made his way over. They've just left Flamey to anchor the bomb site. So this is a big read right here. Maybe the change in the utility used in Banana makes them realize that this isn't the usual default from ENCE.
Sonic can't connect fast enough. They came out too quickly. Simple. In a tight position, does what he can, but man, oh man, ENCE. Explosive time and time again over the bomb sites. Flamey left at a 1-on-3. Bottom side of Banana, I think he's going to slip the other direction, and he will back toward T-spawn.
Circle jump out of apps with the flash combo really makes it difficult for the balcony player. You could see there, if you don't get that first kill, then it puts pressure on your quad players who are playing close up. They have to swing and turn. Their attention's off of middle. The door's well and truly open. You've whiffed your shots. The trade player is coming out of apps. He's able to take you down because your crosshair placement is off. You haven't had enough time to get the kill and reset. Great stuff from ENCE here. That's a pace change. Obviously, it wasn't a rush, but it was more direct. You know, they've been defaulting and doing more late round situations and off of open kills. This time around, they've just gone, all right, well, we'll execute on this A bomb side and see how we go, and they've made it work. They have now won the first half, 8 rounds to their name. They can get as high as 10 here. And it's looking like that's more than possible considering the status of Navi thus far. They do have an AWP again, but it's not finding too much success. You look at their kills right now. Simple's on 12, Edward's on 10. Electronic has cooled off a lot since his impact on the first map. He's down to 7. Zeus with 5, Flamey with 5. On the other side of things, obviously their kills haven't had to come in many. You've got Alexi and X7, who between them only have 3 kills, yet they're winning 8-5. Alu, Sergey, 11 kills each, and then Ariel on the 8. So it's a low-scoring game as far as ENCE are concerned because they haven't had to do a lot in terms of the kills. They've just been moving around the map perfectly. Great mid-round calling from Alexi. Good decision-making from the team overall. And now Simple, he's going to go searching.
He is. Oh, that gap was so close. But he knows they're there because they spray in. He just couldn't hit the shot. Sergey gets rid of him immediately. Simple perhaps starting to feel the pressure, trying to force some plays. Surely not. Surely his mentality is the same. He just can't find the luck to go along with it. As Zeus waits now. Very alone inside of B. Rotation heading in his direction in the form of Electronic. And the bomb is in banana. 53 seconds. There's 2 over toward A. Whichever side is open and has the least resistance is likely where they'll go. I think they're soon to find out that will be the A side. Smokes are certainly fine. That'll hold anyone at B in position. But already, yeah, telegraph, they're heading back down. It's now just Edward.
That mid-smoke is actually going to force them to have to go most likely through the App's position. And now that they've smoked off Arch, Edward's pretty much out of the round. If he tries to rotate back through from mini pit, he's going to die to X7, who's going to have the superior position on the balcony control. And he's dead anyway, seeking for information. You have to make a play, right? He had to do something. There wasn't a lot that you could look to. And I'm saying that I want to see them fight. No, ENCE the one doing all the fighting here. Zeus will fall, Electronic the last man standing. Org in hand. Maybe they'll be nice. Maybe they'll let him hold on to it.
Alu loves Inferno, and he is at 13-5 T-side of the AWP. That's a problem that Navi's going to have to face. They're going to have to face the fact they've given up 9 rounds now. The T's as well. Seven and 6 Electronic. Og, 2 flashes. Armor and a kit. This is not at all what I would have thought from Navi coming into this game. Simple after being absolutely resounding in the group stages. He does lead the way here at 12.
Everyone's being kept quiet though, right? It's not, you know, having one player on that carry performance.
It's the multi-kills. It's the lack of being able to get leads. It's always trades at best.
So when you look at this game right now, obviously we need to flick on over and have the second half, and if they win pistol, you know, they get the first gun round on the board, they're able to exploit the rotations of ENCE. Then this game is definitely on, but it's seeming bleak here just because it doesn't feel like there's a lot of fight in Navi. Normally what gets us so excited, what we've seen going on for this team throughout the entirety of this tournament, we're speaking about it, is the exciting plays, the individuals stepping up and pulling off things that maybe they shouldn't be able to get away with. We saw one of them in the last game. It was unable to be converted by Electronic. That could have been the spark they needed, but that's gone fleeting now. And last round, round number 15, it will be another one of these low buys. They found success before, obviously simply with the shotgun closed boiler. Players low, finished off with the CZ of Electronic. But ENCE have just, you know, they've really tightened things up ever since they lost that Vitality game. You could see after that match, I'm not going to say it shook them, but maybe it was just what they needed to get them to really have that laser focus, because their preparation, the ABCs of Counter-Strike, that's what they do very well.
Good timing from Edward. Second shotgun kill in Boiler, this time with a different gun. It's the Mag 7. Sergey. He's got the AK back over toward Banana. They'll slow things down. They can afford to do that. Still on a 4-on-4. Utility starts to fly yet again. It has caused movement in the past that's left Navi slightly open. Vulnerable in their positioning.
It feels they constantly lean towards that arch side to go towards B, right? Which is putting a massive hole over towards their pit and side defense. Just 2 players having to deal with it all. One of the rounds they won, remember, they wrapped onto A, and Edward had those 2 massive frags from the bomb site, actually finished with 4. So it's been individuals who have helped us get to at least this point, and there we go. Simple's going to find the head of Lexi B, and now it's going to be the A play. That's the trigger.
Simple rotates back in. Stays ahead of the play. Got one toward top mid. He flushed them over toward Electronic, and now he gets there to support him. He's got a second on Sergey, and finally a good defensive hold from Navi. 2 players stepping up. Electronic and Simple, the 2 you'd want. 9-6 at half, though, and that still goes in favor of the T-side ENCE.
Oh, I think we might have a short intermission here. Simple has just left the booth. Maybe a quick little bathroom break.
Crowd still believes.
Yeah, they were NIP fans yesterday. They're Navi fans today. These are teams, or at least names, that have come to China before to play in tournaments. You know, think about it, 1.6 days. So it resonates with the fans here. Lots of saves again in that first half. So as we move on to the second side of things, I mentioned this when we kicked off the cast before the 9th round went. One of the things which at least I've noticed from the ENCE games that I've watched under a microscope is they don't necessarily feel the need to cheat 3 players towards B to lock down that defense. They only do it out of necessity. Whereas normally teams do that with 3 players at the start. Like normally the first gun round, we'll have 3 guys go B, we'll lock off A, we'll have 1 guy either side of middle, maybe 1 anchoring apps, and have 1 guy, you know, arch or quad side, something similar to that, so that you can just make sure that there's no quick A plays. You hold them at bay, and then you can rotate potentially a 4-man stack if you get full banana control. Well, ENCE doesn't feel like they do it in the same way. When they get forced to do it, when teams try to keep them honest in that regard, then you can see things change. I wish we knew what the Chinese casters were saying.
I know, because they're clearly bantering with the crowd.
Yeah, they're having a bit of a giggle. Not sure what it's about, but I want to be in on the joke.
Do you feel left out, Chad?
Well, I don't mind.
Does it remind you of high school?
Hey, I legit used to sit at home at lunchtime.
Aww.
Sit at home, sit alone.
Alone, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. No one stole my lunch money, at least.
No, that's good.
Speaking of lunch money, I wouldn't mind some of that ramen we had the other day. Did you enjoy it?
It was all right. I think it could have been a little more full.
You mean more in the bowl?
Yeah, a little more meat, a little more.
Well, we didn't know what we were ordering. We just pointed. Maybe next time we could ask for a little bit more. Ask for a double dose.
Excuse me.
Things are going to get back underway here. Simple's back in the booth. He's returned.
It was Naruto ramen, the only one in the world. That was cool.
Yeah, and we stumbled upon it.
I kind of want some of those chopsticks. Little daggers.
I'm sure we can sort that out.
Yeah, just walk back over and buy them.
Wait in the queue again for 20 minutes.
No, I'll just skip the queue. I'm not buying food.
Actually, we'll probably just do takeaway.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people. No, I guess it's the experience. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know how that might work.
All right, so here we go. Back underway here with the second half. Not a lot of utility brought on in on the second pistol round. Navi have a smoke and 2 flashes of electronic. It feels like they're mirroring each other in a way.
Was that stat I just saw on the Imba stream correct? There's only 8 off kills. Simple only had 3. Alu had 5. T-side CT3 though for Simple. Simple, speaking of, he started off this game with 2 kills on the pistol. Flamey's gone down. He's going to have to wrap and push aggressively. Alu, there's a kit down in front of him. He's going to want to pick that up before he leaves this position he has. It's the only kit in play. X7. Swings out from pit position. Leave himself up to Electronic, who came in from above as Alu continues to tap over toward the site, but bomb is being planted. And the man advantage as well still sits with Navi.
It's going to be both pistols if they're able to pick this one up. There's a smoke on Alu.
Sergey trying desperately, but no one's revealing themselves. No one's sticking their head up at all. Edward still holds Boiler. 3 players in this position. Eventually, you just got to go. Just run around, force their aim off. Simples is on. He's gotten the headshots, and Alu, he'll drop to Zeus in the end. 9-7. You're right. It's both pistols for Navi.
That is how the first half started. Simple, very direct. He went into the anti-eco round with the rifle. He had the AUG. He's picking down mid, taking the fights. First gun round, he does very similar things. Yes, Alexi B does only have 1 kill to his name. X evidently has 2. But they won the half. They didn't need to get a lot of kills. They were finding openings off the back of the players like Sergey, Alu, Ariel getting it done. And from there, they were just walking on in. Navi weren't putting up a fight. So don't let that stat be too misleading. We'll follow their kills in the second half, and we'll see how much impact they have, because we know how many they started with. It is going to be the force buy from ENCE here. They're not going to lay down without a fight. And we've already seen several times when we've casted Inferno over the last week and a bit that these force buys have been very effective with smoke grenades. Scout going to tag down Simple. He's going to be left on 30 points of health. So he could fall very quickly. They're going to throw it across, he'll trade across to the UMP. AK in the hands of one of the healthier players. They have banana control. Getting Halls of Boiler will be next. But it's just the indecision. I think it was a Navi game that we were casting where they did lose the second, right? They took too long. Maybe they even went quad onto a site. Not necessarily the best call. But we have seen a lot of these rounds go in the favor of the CT side. So Navi needs to survive right here.
Tagged up, couldn't land a shot on the scout. Tries again. Has the goal to go for the repeat. Zeus will be the one that arrives at the corner. He gets tagged. That position held too easily with the scope. Again, he tries a repeat. Again, position. As he gets lower and lower, and if they're out through the arch, they got to be a little bit careful of the fact that they have him still in library, but also they can attract players in B. Ariel has the bomb. Now their focus should firmly be inside of the site. Sergey, the player right in front of them, though, who slides underneath, rightfully so, on the AK, and Alu stuck in the site is surrounded. They'll recover the bomb. And potentially the round, it should be now that they take down X7. Only one remaining, and that is Alexi B. He has only 1 kill in the game. See if he can find another now. He will. Mac 10, see if he can build up some cash.
Yeah, Flamey really just wanted to see if he could find him to take away anything they had going into the next round, but he will give up that Mac 10. So what becomes an option if Alexi does get the chance to hold on to this? But Edward, he's going hunting, and through the chicken pit he comes. His head will be taken off. I was going to say that he could drop the Mac 10 or the CZ over, and then they have 2 weapons to work with in the following as opposed to just the 1. But luckily enough, Navi, the cleanup crew, coming on through, able to pick that bad boy up. Another score is 9-8 in ENCE's favor, now on the CT side of Navi's map choice. Navi will get a freebie here in theory to get them up to 9-9. We're kicking off round number 18. 4 USPs, 1 P2K. They're going to push down mid, so this one should be a slaughter, but nobody's watching him, Matt. Nobody's watching the push at all. It's going to be called now by Edward, but will the Banana guys be ready?
I don't know if they will. They've got to turn fast. They lost Zeus, but Electronic and Edward, they were indeed ready. 9-9, Navi starting to change their fate.
Maybe a bit more expensive than that had to be. Nobody watching up middle for that early push, but even though the round went on the board, you'd say that ENCE, considering the circumstances, would be relatively happy with that. 2 kills. It's not a clean sweep. Yeah, you got to take the little victories when you can. So first gun round of the game getting underway here. Alu will have the AWP, and Kevlar, we have been talking about his impact on the CT side. He feels like he has very good intuition about moving around the map. I talk about them not doing 3 players towards top of the map. They've gone with 4.
Yep, we saw this gamble out from Navi in the last half, and it didn't work. They lost Zeus, and then they just backed off of it immediately. A lot of utility used and not a lot of ground gains. Similar to long A, I suppose, on Dust. You can put the people there early as long as you can rotate them back. Difference is that on Dust, you have the time to do that and still make it to the bomb sites, as long as you send someone B. Here, you may not. If they attack Egg and you're still transitioning back through CT, you can leave a lot open.
Yeah, I think they were making up for the fact that they didn't have a lot of utility to go for Banana control, so they were using some of the A players' nades to help hold Banana at bay, but X7 falls, and there you go. In transition, that's what we're talking about.
Boost up. Sergey was in position to find one. He drops off immediately. Alexi B is able to capitalize from the ruins, from the coffins. Series went out toward New Box. Zeus is dropped. He can't get the plant in. That was the only thing that was going to save this round for them. Flamey in a 1-on-4. Second he tries to plant, they're going to push, so he baits it. Baits it and nearly sprays for 2, but even then he would have been pushed out from CT, so they had control on the ENCE side.
I'm not sure if Alu's AWP pick down mid was the trigger to go on B or not, but it forced them into that hole, and they just went straight into the blender. Fantastic work there from ENCE just to shut that out before they even had a chance. Navi have enough money in the bank to be able to get a gun round on the board. Simple with the AWP, Galil coming out, so still a very competitive buy. Zeus is the only one yet to purchase on in. Kind of been left hanging by the homies. Flamey could have dropped him a UMP or something similar, but he'll get a deagle up. And now Simple wants to go toe-to-toe with Alu, so maybe seeing if he wants to play aggressive Counter-Strike towards mid again. And he might get made the better of. But this is what we're talking about, right? When you're an AWP player like this, you have to be aware of the mental timings of it. When do they take boiler? Where are my teammates covering? When are the smokes expiring? So that you know when you need to go for a pick like that. We talk about AWPing being difficult on a map like this. Hold up a second. It's going to miss him in the smoke again.
Yeah, they found him. Turned and just barely gets him. It probably would have been a 1-for-1 anyway, because they both would have thought they were equally as safe. And the second man would have responded after a kill. Sergey waits. He's holding underneath the atrium. He's got his face plush against the wall.
This kind of feels the game slipping through Navi's fingers at this point.
I mean, it felt that way in the first half more, if I'm completely honest with you. At least they won the pistol and closed the distance in this. Because the first half, man, oh man, 9-6. Even that took some efforts to get back to. But if it's the game, it's also the series. Keep that in mind. It's already 1-0 for ENCE. That was a giveaway. Pistol could have only came from one place.
Oh, they're having a chat right now. If you can see on Flamey's face, Simple's face cam, when it was on him, he's leaning over having a chat. So I'm not sure if he's just calling out what he's thinking or if they're talking through the next round.
Well, this one's done. 6 seconds left. 6 players alive at the end of it. A lot of saving. With best intentions, I think, of creating more gun rounds and therefore more fights. They may have incidentally created more initiative to save the devs.
Yeah, well, trial by error, I suppose. That first map, the opening kills map, went in favor of ENCE, 17 to 10. This second map right here, just having a look at the stats. What have we got right now? Sergey's won 4 opening duels. Ariel's won 3. 1 for Alexi B, 1 for X7. So even though they have very low amount of kills, they've had success in opening duels. On the other side of things, we've got 3 opening duels successful for Edward, 2 for Simple, 3 for Electronic, 1 for Flamey, and 2 for Zeus. So it's pretty even right now in terms of which way the opening kills have been going on Inferno. But the rounds, even though the scoreline is 11 to 9, you take the pistol rounds, you take the conversions out of it. ENCE have been doing a lot more work on these gun rounds, and they've been doing it with only key kills, and then good movement across the map. Hasn't been the need for multi-frags, hasn't been the need for anybody to step up and go absolutely nuts. Just keeping it simple. And here we go. Navi with a mixed buy. Saved AWP. AK-47, UMP, CZ-75, and a P250. Feels like a last-ditch attempt here, as this will be round number 3 in a row that they've lost. If they do so, loss bonus will not be maxed on out at all because they won the initial 3 rounds. So back and forth of the economy system early. Ooh.
Good nade. Lands immediately behind the barrels. That's where he's standing. Basically like standing in a cubicle with an explosive. A lot of places to hide or get away from it. Bomb still waits back toward T, and Flamey and Edward are investigating Boiler's side of the map. Meanwhile, Simple's holding with the op. X7 knows they're there. Has to go back through the flames. It was a deep enough Molotov. Knew that they were halfway up Banana as a result of it.
Still 4 players over towards A for ENCE here to note. That Molotov wasn't enough to scare them away. I think X7 will drop his smoke momentarily, and they don't have to cheat back towards B just yet. So into 4 players, Navi are going to go. They need the individuals to step up right now and pull out some big entry frags.
Back in. Alexi's lucky to get away, 14 HP. Ariel is gone. He got one with a nade though. Simple may have taken him down, but he found Edward instead. Sergey sitting in the pit, catches off the plant. 14 seconds, they've got to get out. Simple gets only 1 in return. Jumps up and somehow finds Sergey, but he hasn't found the bomb. He will now. And he goes away from default because he doesn't want to get naded. He also knows there's a flank, and he also knows he needs position. Whoa! He actually gets the first one. He's got a chance. He knows Alu's up close, and he sneaks around. Oh, that's what we like from Simple.
The crowd absolutely loving that one.
Every single time, even in this series, he's been out of it, and he pulls that out of nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. 8 seconds on the clock when he puts the bomb down. They're all over him, and he finds both.
That's inspired me. If that doesn't inspire his teammates right now to put up a fight and give us a series, take us to the 3rd, and give us what we want, I don't know what will, because Simple's happy with himself after that one, and of course he should be. Back underway here. ENCE's money now. A little bit hamstrung.
He's coming close to firing at Zeus. Shot through his legs.
Mate, at this point, I don't care. Just kill them all.
Yeah, do it. Why not? Alu still watches down with his own AWP at top side of middle. It's X7 in Banana that extinguishes the flames and wants to get up close.
That's insane that he pulled that off. You have to just think about the context of that. I think there was like 8 seconds left when he started planting. They were swarming him, and well, they haven't started this round in good fashion at all. Alu in a different position this time with the AWP. Will take down Flamey, and now he's moved again over towards the arch side. This is perfect. This is great CT-sided AWPing from Alu here. You want to be really dynamic in this approach. Continue to move around.
No gap in the smoke. Makes it hard for the AWP to find the kill, but M5 at that range gets Edward down. Simple still inside of the doorway apartments. He's down by a man, and he has Zeus to work with. Bomb will get tossed down to Zeus from Simple, so they don't have to do any misalignment in position, and then he drops inside of the pit.
Just note Alexi's flank here. He can take a lot of time and come through halls even if he wants to. It looks like it will be middle. But this could be instrumental right here from the in-game leader of ENCE. Only has an MP9 to work with, but nades to flush out Simple's position.
Gets it. Oh my god. He only had a finger to fire at. And he's not done. They know he's there, but that doesn't make it easy. Alu, he does get the shot over top, all onto Zeus. Time ticks on the bomb, but the kid is there. You're right, there's time enough. Jumping up, though, Zeus is able to hold the line. Now we're seeing what Navi's capable of. 11-11.
Just gotta believe a little bit.
Sergey did everything in his power. Simple, man, oh man, this is a look back. I'm seeing it on the other stream. You guys aren't right now, but man, that was insane. Even the third.
It was an ace? I didn't even realize that it was an ace. I know we got 4, obviously.
Yeah, 4 in the clutch to jump over top of it. And they've just seen the shot you guys did of the neck and the point in the last round. That's what the reaction is in the building.
Okay, they have an opportunity here, a real chance going up against these light pistols. 3 USPs, a P250, a CZ, a HE on Sergey. They can keep it calm. They can stabilize right now, get themselves the lead in this game. They don't want to lose too many players. Just note their money. It's not looking pretty at all. Zeus has the most on 700. Remember that round they just got through there was a 1v1 situation. So every kill at this point for ENCE matters. Any damage that they can inflict, anything that they're able to put on the board, it's not just a consolation. It actually is going to have flow-on effects as we start to get down to the business end of this game. It's going to be a quicker approach up middle. A minute left on the clock. 3 players from Navi are already pushed on up, and they only have to deal with Ariel, who's playing on the balcony position. Flamey can come late through apps. There's no rush on him. There's no timer on him. You can let the other players take contact. Electronic will pick up the bomb in rotation from Banana, and they should be able to get in here without too many problems. Ariel is the only man that they have to deal with, and that was done with ease. So nice and simple, very thorough approach from Navi here. ENCE are going to push Banana.
Electronic is ready for it. And he's got the first, the second, trying to spray and find his third. He'll die in the nade, but Zeus is actually there and took one away, excuse me, so Zeus gets 3 on that. And Navi gets the lead back at 12. Simple still has an op to work with. T-sided game so far. It was 9-6 at half, remember.
Here's the problem. ENCE have not done a single thing wrong. You think about this. It's not like they're making glaring mistakes or anything. Simple has to pull off an absolute miracle of a round. You can break down the details and go, oh, we should have picked together, or we did this wrong, we did that wrong. But in the moment of a round like that, that's Simple making magic happen. So now that the guns are back on board, Edward only has a Mac 10 to note, so that could be problematic as this round continues forward. This will be the default approach from Navi. It looks like it's going to be a second wave of utility used in Banana from ENCE here. They actually have the help of Sergey normally playing over towards Hay in that pit position.
He wants to push in, times it with the flames. They extinguish, he goes down. Simple on the edge of the smoke. Have to be careful. Electronic now showing off some speed. He backs off and allows his teammates to go in. Actually, I suppose in some ways bait Zeus, but it was by design, and exactly that. They get the trade. That's all that matters. As Simple still sits with 100 HP, he'll relocate with the AWP just to make sure that mid's covered off as such. That's why Flamey is positioned where he is. They're gonna rotate this around. They're gonna, what was you called this? The Bogdan strat?
Bogdan's Law.
Bogdan's Law, thank you.
It's because Steel and Bogdan got in an argument. I think it was in like a rank S pug or something. Because I think Bogdan was low and wanted the AWP from Steel or vice versa. I'm not sure however it went. And ended up on Reddit. Just carried it through. I think a lion's share of the community might know what I'm talking about. If not, tweet me and I won't use it anymore. I'm only kidding. You don't have any control over what I say. All right, so going towards the A-bombs, right?
Alu starting with this. We know he went missing a few times in series at the major. His teammates did so well. He was a little shaky at times. He's been perfect almost today. That one, unfortunately, is going to cost them dearly because Sergey's all that's left, and he's over toward B. So now it's 13 for Navi. Overpasses the third map.
Sergey's currently topping the charts right now with 21 kills, but he's going to do very good if he can hold on to this weapon right now. They want to hunt him down. Chasing. All 3 players from Navi are swarming to his position. They've actually smoked off Ruins, and he's gone towards back aside. If he gets some kills, that is still going to hurt the economy of Navi. They know where he is. It's the duel. Simple gets the better of him again, and now he is awake.
25 kills, he leads the way. Match paused, presumably by ENCE. Yeah, it is. Tactical pause says at the bottom.
So ENCE have a difficult decision right now because they're just under that 4K mark for at least 3 of their players, Ariel, X7, and Sergey. This is one of those situations where you could buy a rifle with Kevlar, but you're not going to have any utility, and it's better just to go for that partial buy, or you could upgrade into whatever you want because they will get the max loss bonus after this round. So that's where you could go for like the cheaper shotguns now that we've seen. Obviously the Mag 7's only, I think it's 1,300 now, so you could invest into that if you really wanted to do. Obviously CZ75, the only issue with that is the kill reward's low, but to get a little bit of utility up, there's no problems there. So you can see it, yeah, they have enough money to go for one of these lower investments to keep this round still very viable and still very dangerous. Navi can't just go about it in a manner where they bust on in and take on USPs. They have to work for this. And that's what you want to do. Continue to apply the pressure for as long as you can. Next round they'll have a gun round regardless. And there's no reason that they can't win this one. This to me feels like Navi are going to go for a pretty direct approach towards this B bomb site. And if X7, after that smoke, has Electronic just fade into it, then he really just gravitates towards these $300 blooms of grayness. He loves it. He just loves getting up close and personal, doesn't he?
Electronic. See if he can do anything with it, though. He's invading space. There's no question about it. Smoke down, flash out. Not on the left, though. Not where Alexi's playing from. He's at orange one. He's forced out by Molotov, and Electronic knew that he might be. Held the line. Big gap in that smoke, but no one there. Take advantage of it. He nearly got a second one, X7. It was close. He got Simple, didn't get Zeus. Zeus gets the bomb. That goes on the grounds and waits to be potentially defused. I think that's unlikely. And they're already going to back off, even though it's just UMPs, but they want to keep the armor.
Yeah, the armor is key here. Saves them some money for the later rounds if it goes in that way. Edward has something to say about that. He's going to take down Sergey. He will be chased, but Flamey's there.
Great bait. Didn't bother repeaking, giving them a chance to kill him. And then their attention would have gone up toward Banana. He just baits them into his teammate.
Edward's ready for this as
well.
He is.
He's hunting. He knows he spotted 2 coming down.
Oh.
He's having some fun right now, isn't he? Look at him. He's just dragging them around. Alu's after it. Wants the AK. Edward. Oh, he's going to give it up, though. So Alu does get an AK from this, and they're trying to get there. They're not going to because he's gone the other direction.
Bit of cat and mouse there towards the end. You can see how erratic Edward's communication was there on the middle of the screen. So Simple, he's done what Electronic was unable to do in the first map. The clutch that...
Unable to do in the major.
Yeah, well, this time round it's given Navi the chance to close out their map pick and take us to number 3, which will be overpass if we do need it. This one isn't done yet. That's a board on in. Alu has the ult. Electronic. Oh my god. Woo. Thanks for coming. See you next round.
Maybe. Same time, same place.
Well, might be able to do it all again, as we were noting to keep track of the kills thus far. Alexi only had 1 after the first half. He's managed to get second in this second half. X7 is where I was going next. He only had 2, so that means he's managed 3 kills. There is another one. Make that 4. Needs to have impact now.
Tagged up X7 at 13 as he gets 1 more bullet through the wall, trying to get back inside of the site. That means an immediate rotation needs to come in. Ali will do so. So it's off at CT gap. Sergey underneath Atrium again. Has Aerial to play off of, trying to play in tandem together. Watch and switch to where it needs attention more, but they're going to have company at potentially both boiler door and apartments. No, they're going to go back around. So this setup can work because they won't be able to jump down behind them. 3-out boiler. Setup's almost perfect for it.
Great trades.
Good trades, though. Both of them extremely effective.
Picture perfect there.
If you had gone one outside of the apartment, usually you can catch them off in that situation. But trades, if you think you're confident enough in getting them, work as well. And it's a 2-on-2. Bomb planted. Simple on the M4. Gets off the AWP to play the post plant differently this time, to play more aggressively, let Zeus hold off in the pit. X7 firing speculative shots through the edge of the smoke, won't be able to get anyone from the front of Library. It might be their turn to save, perhaps. It's going to give up map point. No, he's already, you're right, already around, already in the open. Has it as well. Simple's down, but Zeus is turned to clutch and low HP. He should be able to do so on the AK. He does. He plays off Simple once again. And it is now map point to tie this and force it to overtime. Overpass, excuse me. Suppose you could call it overtime for the series, being map 3.
Imagine the feeling of being able to win a round like what Simple just did, to elevate your team to a position where you can win a map and keep them alive in the series. Look, I sucked. But when I called a perfect round, it felt bloody great, but I never got to play anywhere near the level that this guy does almost every single map. Well, at least every single series we've gotten a highlight out of him. Final round potentially on the cards here, round number 27. A very mixed buy here from ENCE. A couple of SMGs in play, and they'll find the opening.
That was lovely. As soon as the flash bounced off the wall and Boiler, he pushed because he had to look away. Good counterplay. Lexi B better hope that AUG works wonders.
I feel like they should potentially go for contact here as opposed to throwing utility. And that's what they will do, but Alexi, he's going to get the better with the AUG trained on that position. And now this becomes very difficult for Navi to get back into. ENCE doing a very good job of not giving up the resilience that we spoke of earlier. Staying true. Boosting quietly. MP9 now becomes even more effective as it has the ability to do damage. Simple, very smart. We throwing away that AWP now, so it's not going to be able to be collected from the side of ENCE if they do win the round.
They have the entire mid wall though, so there's no chance that they can even try and surprise them on the A site. Maybe they get in apartments, highly doubt it. They've been controlling that early on, right? So be confident in their position. Lexi B, pulls the attention. MP9, not enough power. That gives Edward both. Snaps it back, and Alu gets only one. Low HP for Zeus. He's going to hold the plant. 10 seconds. Simple has to protect him. He does. How does he get that? Alu had absolutely every right to take down Zeus, and somehow it's a 2-on-2 as Simple turned back just in time. They'll flash in. Aerial wants desperately to find the low HP man that scurries to new box, and they've got a crossfire set. Simple with the AK. No kits. They've got to go, and they go towards Simple. He finds one, knows where the second is, but he in turn has been found out. Oh. And it's a good recovery from Aerial. And there's enough time, even on 10 seconds.
Wipe the sweat off the brow right there. Gets tight. Aerial will get the defuse and should be able to pick up an AK, so he can drop a gun across in this one, even an AWP if he wanted to Alu. Alu has enough to buy a rifle and drop that to one of his other teammates, so there's going to be more than enough guns to go about, and I can see that they're going to do exactly that. So Aerial's dropped the AWP, Alu can drop an M4, X7's opted to go in for the MP9, but everybody else is going to have quite a nice buy going into this one right here, whereas Navi, they've almost bottomed out. They only have Simple with residual cash right here. This one could go the distance. We're getting to a very dangerous stage of the game right here, and Alu, he's close middle. Banana control is going to be a little bit easier to get this time round. X7 is going to have to only be able to take close range kills. Nade damage done to him early, down to 48 points of health. 4 players towards Banana at this position, and now the kills can come on in.
CB trying to get his teammate in position in X7, but MP9, he was jumping. He gives his position away, does a lot of damage, to be fair, but he's caught in the reload, and Electronic and Zeus, they'll find both of the CTs trying to get aggressive. And that could be it, because the rotation required, they're not in position, and still Sergey is stuck at middle, doing battle with Flamey. There's only 2 to retake the site, make it 1. Electronic finds Alu. Ariel gets 1 back. Desperate to spray into the stained windows, but nothing around behind him just yet. Simple just faces him straight on. This is done. Sergey with nothing at all to argue. 16-12 Navi. They'll put us on overpass, and it's Flamey that confirms it. He was waiting the whole time for that man to arrive. What a clutch from Simple to start that off.
If that's not the talking point of that map right there, I don't know what else possibly could be.
What if Electronic did it on train?
Exactly. It could be a 2-0. Those two clutches could be more than enough to break the hearts of Finns around the world, but Simple ends that one on 29 kills. Had his sidekick of Electronic there at 23, Edward with 20, Zeus on 17, and Flamey down the bottom, who is having a bit of a slower series right now on 12, but a victory is a victory. And they've evened things up here as we will be moving forward to map number 3, but no one's going to be able to stop talking about that clutch.
No, that was unreal. Ace, 1 on 4, and the last 2. Third as well, jumps on the railing, but the third as well, just unbelievable. You can't say enough about it. That's as good as it would have been. No, obviously not at the major and the semi he failed it, but it was a similar situation where he had to go deep with limited time. With that, we're going to take limited time to a break and then join the desk. We'll be back with Overpass to decide who moves on to the immediate semifinal following.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
If you enrage the beast, you better make damn sure that you take him down and not allow him to conquer you, like just happened there on Inferno. ENCE, they managed to take the first map. It was looking strong, but straight out the gates, Simple was aggressive, he was pushing, and he was looking to make a big statement overall. And once again, another historical clutch to go down in the history of this man's career.
It took a little while before it got fired up, though. I think ENCE were in the leadership of that game for the majority of the part. Obviously, they ended up losing the game, but I felt and I had a feeling that ENCE were in control, I would say. They were playing okay. X7 had a rough game, LXCB had a rough game, especially on that small bomb site, B bomb site on Inferno, and that's in the end actually what cost them the game. Obviously, when you talk about Simple, that clutch right there, those aces that he came in with, they were so crucial, they were so good, and they had so much impact on the game. But Navi, very close, I would say, to losing this game. You saw ENCE again playing with confidence, knifing, you know, just in general feeling in control up until the point when Simple arrived, that when they couldn't hold their own anymore. I think LXCB and X7 is going to have a little bit of a tough time explaining what really went wrong on that B-bomb side.
Yeah, definitely not feeling happy about that game. I want to say this clutch from Simple, I think, was the turning point of the game, not only just purely like economically or just psychologically. Because I agree with Jacob actually. ENCE were in control, and if you think about the context of this clutch, ENCE is leading 11-9 on the CT side. They have a good financial situation, 5 people alive, I mean 4 alive, and they end up losing that round. I think it gives Navi like the motivation back into the game. Obviously Simple is fired up. After that point he's just not stopping at all. So it's actually insane, and it must be very frustrating for the side of ENCE to have that game let go, because they must have felt in control for the most part of it.
And that's it, right? Even though Navi got off to a good start, it was looking like ENCE were potentially taking this 2-0, and then that moment seemed to change the entire pacing of the game. Now, when we're looking at ENCE, though, we speak about the Finns, we speak about their resilience as a team. We saw it at the major. They've been able to make these kind of comebacks.
Yeah.
This time around, something was not right.
Yeah, and I think, again, not only to put the blame on X7 and Alexi B, but they really had a rough showing on that B bomb side and in general in the game. I think they combined for 16 or 15 frags together, so that really wasn't enough. And that's, again, you know, that puts emphasis on how much they also mean to this ENCE lineup, because when the players are not showing up, when it's not the full unit of ENCE showing up in the server, you can see how quickly it can fall apart. I mean, it's kind of the same scenario as we saw on Train with Navi, where it was Zeus on the inner bomb side who couldn't really hold it. Navi didn't have an answer. They couldn't really rotate properly and make it work. Same thing for ENCE right here. They couldn't get the CT side going after that simple clutch, and after they found out that Alexi B and X7 couldn't hold that B bomb side.
It was just a bit lackluster, not only in terms of fragging, obviously X7 and Alexi B having a rough game, but just the way they tried to contest the banana. The amount of time that Electronic could get the first frag, that's not supposed to happen, right? We see this man on camera was insane. I like the way he plays with the camera, right? But just to get back to this banana point, just purely based on your utility, you're supposed to be able to lock down the first, say, 30 seconds of the round.
Okay, yep.
You're supposed to survive that, and I think that's all ENCE needed to do, but they tried to contest it a little bit. It was a bit half and half, and Electronic just tore them apart, pretty much. So, yes, a lot of responsibility on these two, but that happens, you know, they have to reset, go to the third map now.
And it was the entry kills on Electronic, right, that really did cause a big problem, as you can see here, for the side of ENCE. He was rocking up, and no matter who was there, it could have been 1, 2 players facing him, he was going for that first pick, and it was working out.
And that's that double combo we often talk about, right? We often sit here pre-game scenarios with Navi when we tell you guys out there that when you have Simple, you have Electronic as a double duo, they get real dangerous, because Simple is that guy who can just take over a game, take over a round that you have no business winning, and winning it with an incredible clutch. Whereas for Electronic, he is good at opening up the rounds, he's good at creating the space, and good at creating these situations that then guys like Edward, Zeus, Simple allows them to get the frags and close out the round. So they complement each other so well as this double duo. I think this is a great example of what they offer to each other and what they offer to Navi as a team. When they're on fire, you have to play your A game if you want to shut it down.
Now, talking about A games, we're going to Overpass. It is the decider, and this is where it gets tricky. A map that both teams are more than capable of playing, but the sentiment from you guys here was that Overpass could be more favored just about to ENCE. Is that still the feeling after what we've seen?
Yeah, well, obviously, if you just look at the numbers, I would say ENCE should feel confident going on to Overpass, as we see here. Well, obviously, the loss against Forze, just on the ENCE side of things, is, I think, MDL on internet, so we might take some distance from that.
Online doesn't matter, we're just focused on
exactly,
LAN,
that's the difference. So ENCE actually did not lose Overpass in the past 3 months on LAN. So they have a good record. We see they beat FaZe, they went 15-15 against Liquid. Obviously, that was at Blast Pro Series Sao Paulo. That was an insane game. Beating Big and G2, maybe a little bit of a lesser opponent, but they are a good team on Overpass, there's no doubt. My question is, how do you come back from that game on Inferno? You feel like you were that close to the finish line, then you lose that clutch and everything just goes out of control. That, to me, that's going to be the big challenge for them.
Now, I'll say on that, right, I've seen ENCE on multiple events now, and I've been close to these guys. I've seen them go down on maps there was no way they should have lost, and it's really wild because we talk about them not being haven't been much emotion to them. When you watch them get together as a unit, Twister takes some control. There's no one kind of shit-talking each other, right, so to speak. They're not just running over each other the whole time. They are just sat there working out, going through the motions, and they are very focused when it comes to it. So that's the only thing I don't worry about with ENCE. The problem I have is if they start off slow again, or they have a bit where players aren't fragging, that's what concerns me in the server.
And I think that's one of the most underrated aspects of this ENCE lineup, is the fact that they are so young, they are so inexperienced. They have a guy like Elo, sure thing, a lot of experience to him, but the rest of the guys are fairly new to this level of the scene, but they still play as they were an experienced unit. They still play as they've been playing this game for 10 years and have been on these stages for 1,000,000 times. That's what's so impressive about this ENCE lineup. Now, concerning Overpass as a map in general, we just saw by the statistics as well, Navi haven't played that map in a long time, and that is down to 2 reasons. Either Navi doesn't feel as comfortable as they used to on Overpass, so it means it's not the go-to pick, so that's obvious. Now the other part is the fact that people don't want to play Overpass against Navi, because Navi is a very comfortable and very good Overpass team, so we get to see 2 teams right now tested to the wire on a map that both teams feel fairly comfortable on, in a matchup that so far has been super close. Let's not forget that Navi had to win both pistol rounds. They had to have Simple going on all cylinders, even to get a foot in that Inferno game. If that's not happening here in Overpass, I'm a little bit worried on Navi's behalf.
Well, let's see how it goes down, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. It is time for us to go to a break, but when you come back, it's the decider between Navi and ENCE. The question is, which way will it go? The ultimate matchup of the quarterfinals is coming your way.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Case. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
Place your bets at Csgo.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at Csgo.bet.
Twister from ENCE joins me now to talk about the success of the team so far here in Shanghai. And first of all, I want to congratulate you on winning that match against FaZe, because it was incredibly close on Dust 2. 2 overtimes, I believe. It went to 22-19. So talk to me about the team's experience of that game.
About the team experience? Well, every time we play against FaZe, it's in a way it's a bit easier for us. I mean, when people see a matchup against FaZe, they always think about their previous achievements and stuff like that, the big names in the team. But they are out of form. They have been for a long time. So when we're playing against them, we don't have any pressure or anything like that. FaZe is a team that the players, they like to play in a way a solo style, and that's something when you do against us, you get punished. And that's basically what happened on Overpass and Nuke. On Dust 2, in a way there's more room to play those games, but on Nuke and Overpass, if you do that and you don't hit your shots, you'll lose. And that's basically what happened.
So in your team talk after that loss on Dust 2, you basically said that to the team, or how did you get them going for the next map?
Well, every player knows that the Dust 2, it could have gone either way so fast, so much earlier as well. So we just knew that, okay, whatever, we lost it, no matter, there's 2 more maps, there's Nuke, we're better on Nuke, there's Overpass. Their Overpass was something that we thought a lot about, because on Overpass, as a T and also as CT, you can so easily interrupt the rotations and stuff like that, or if you push on CT side, you can miscall it, you don't know that someone's coming and stuff like that happens a lot. So that was something that worried us a bit, but then we just said, okay, let's play together. If they come from behind or something like that, there will be only 1, maybe 2, then that will be a rare case. Let's trade him out and play from there, so it was good.
And would you say that the economy has impacted the way that you're playing your game? Because one of the trends we're seeing here a lot of the time is teams are losing the pistol and obviously not denying that conversion, but then the third round, when they can actually start buying in, often they're picking up that round and taking it away from the other team. Are you finding that's affecting you?
Well, there will be always rounds that which would have been a bit different with the old economy, but we don't think about it too much. Yeah. It goes how it goes, and we just work it out from there.
So who's your biggest competition here at StarSeries?
Well, in a way, almost every team's, because we cannot underestimate anyone, so we have to play our game against anyone. So I want to say that there's only one team who is the biggest. If Astralis will be here, they, of course, but they're not here, and Liquid is not here, so every team, we have to beat them all. And
you've got Navi next in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. I would have wanted it to be the final with the best of 5 against them to see how it goes. But there are strong teams on the other side of the bracket as well, and also Renegades and NRP in our side if we beat Navi. So if we get to the final, it would be a good test for us anyway, because the previous StarSeries we win was against Vega, and all the teams here, in my opinion, are better. So now we would get better experience from best of 5 against a better team. So that's something I would like to see how our guys cope with it.
And how will you be preparing the team to face Navi?
Just the same way. We watch them, we talk about our game, talk about our approach, what we want to take against Navi, and go from there. I mean, there's always the same way. There's no different ways to prepare for other opponents. It's the same method against anyone, but sometimes there's a bit more extra here against Navi, a bit more extra here against FaZe, and those are the things I won't say.
Oh, thank you so much for saying some things and revealing some things to me today, Twister. And good luck in that quarterfinals against Navi.
Thank you.
Well, it is all level. Great response from Navi on Inferno. Great response from Simple. We called out some of his impact on Train. He had a lot of kills, but a lot of them were exits. That changes it. That was resounding.
Yeah, the clutch that went missing for him at the major, the one that Electronic couldn't get done on Train, and then he gets it done here, and you have to really focus on that. It might seem like we're harping on one round, but that was the pivot point for that entire game, right? That not only would have lit the fire within him, but the rest of the team. And you could see after he came out from pistol rounds in this game, he was being a lot more assertive, a lot more direct, even in the first half. They still managed to have a lot of saves on their CT side, but it doesn't really matter if you get the win on the board in the very end. Just having a look at some quick stats right now. This is LAN matches the last 6 months. The death surely would have been touching on the fact that ENCE, you know, they've beaten some big names on Overpass, but when you look at their numbers, in terms of the 4v5 percentage, when they're winning in 4v5 scenarios, they're #1 in the world right now, and their trade percentage is #1. So those two stats correlate very nicely with each other.
It is incredible to think that there's been 3 almost clutches for Navi that probably, well, definitely would have won them the major semifinal.
Sure.
Probably would have won them Train, and then finally did win them Inferno. Third's a charm, I guess, but that's how close these games are.
Yeah.
Interestingly, you could also argue it's been Navi that's needed the clutch every time.
The X factor,
still incredible that it's that close.
While we get this knife round underway, another thing to note right now, same stat line. So LAN last 6 months. Navi, unsurprisingly, are the #1 team at the round 2 break. So if they lose the pistol, they force buy in. They are the best or have the highest percentage of doing that out of all the other top 20 teams in the world. So if they lose the pistols, watch for them to bounce back with a force buy, obviously depending on plant scenarios. Now we have the new money system. I'm talking over a 6-month window. There's going to be a lot of changes as we settle into the new meta that Valve have established for everybody. But those are some stat lines to look out for there. Also on the CT side, because these 4v5/trade percentages, you can break all that kind of stuff down. There's some fantastic filters out there. But the CT side for that of ENCE, their trading is on point. So watch for them to do a lot of things together. They're still #1. So #1 overall and #1 on the CT side. So watch for them together in a lot of different, I suppose, setups to be punishing Navi. And with that knife round done and dusted, we should be getting underway very soon. Hopefully the teams have had enough time to settle, and ENCE will be starting on the CT side here. And on the T side will be Navi. They're going for that P250 approach again. Zeus has bought some nades. He's dropped the P250 to Electronic this time round. Flamey, he's yet to buy on in, so we'll wait and see. Eventually just gets the Kevlar. X7, HE, flash and a smoke. And another nade for Alexi B with a diffuse kit to his name. So let's see. Maybe they want to use those nades together because X7 and Alexi B are both on the B bomb site. We've got a balloon push from Alu getting information. 2 players pushing up long of Sergey and Ariel. They're not going to find anything, but at least they'll get information.
Alu still posturing back and forth at the picnic position. That's been erased. Electronic getting the kill, and he's now switched back to realize Sergey is also being aggressive pushing out. Sergey will get better out of him. Ariel still hanging out toward the dinner party. The push. Sergey down. Ariel holds. No bomb drop. He's got to turn around. Fast response, but not quick enough to hit the aim as Edward finds both. And it's Simple with 9 HP. Edward that recovers the bomb. And they're trying to race over to where the B site. This is red, though. They're already there, and so silently to the right. Oh. X7 didn't realize Simple got behind him. They're past each other.
Clear this
Simple might turn it. X7 doesn't turn around first. Simple's low HP, couldn't find it. He actually gets both. Edward was a victim of Simple's ignorance, if you want to call it that, the lack of knowledge that he was there, but it still was impressive that he was able to find Simple afterward.
I thought that X7 would have definitely heard him barreling up, but I suppose when he chose to start holding that shift key and walk on in, it was the perfect timing. Ships in the night there, passing each other. And now, this is the round that I said that Navi are the best at the world out on this map. But they haven't gone for a full investment. Normally what you see them do is drop AKs across and go for a round that's a little bit more aggressive. This one is going to be held quite honest. But you need to know, and I pointed this out last time on Inferno when Navi won a round, that Zeus actually drops pistols over to his teammates. Look, he has $500 to his name, but only a Glock. He's given, let's have a look here. He's given a Deagle to Simple. And he's given a Deagle to Electronic. So don't say Big Daddy Zeus does never do anything for anybody, because he's facilitating the key pieces for him on the map. Electronic has made a lot of ground towards long. Simple has to deal with Sergey here, and he gets a freebie.
MP5 picked up, guaranteed. Simple doesn't pick that up.
Look at Electronic already. Oh!
Just nailed Alexi B mid-jump. I was going to say Simple's not going to pull out that MP5 until he needs to. He'll hold the Deagle in hand for the range. Now he can take the brawl, and he goes up close, catches out one, looks for the second on X7, but has the information there's still an overpass. Problem is where the bomb is.
Yeah. Edward needs to wait. He needs to let Electronic do something here.
Edward is being smart about it, too. They could actually let them both
go B.
And they go B.
The
other one pushed through. This is huge. They just let them go straight through like a sieve.
Ring around the
Back over to B. They split them, and they know exactly where they are in doing so. Electronic pushes through. Edward plants. That's actually smart by Edward. Patience. Deagle and MP9 versus MP9 and UMP. Edward's going to get up close with that Deagle.
Look at the HP as well here. The Deagle just has to land anywhere on the body for Alu, and he falls. X7.
Not much better, really.
But 2 kits.
Edward can hear them. Knows who's there. Tries to peek it out. Swings again. Does. Oh, tag him. That puts him very low. Now it's certainly winnable for the MP9 of Electronic. Gets the reload in for the Deagle in time, and he just goes hunting because he knows he's tagged. Now his teammate can collect on Alu.
Add another one to that stat line. Great stuff there. See, this is the thing, right? I've spoken with players in the past, and this was a long time ago, mind you, and they talk about Simple and the team, and they talk about, oh yeah, but if you know, if you had a player that you always dropped guns, you know, they could be just as competitive. Yeah, right.
It's true. I've seen a number of rounds where Simple doesn't get the gun and still finds the kill. You give him a Deagle, and he's got enough to work with. There's no question about that.
But this is multiple times that Zeus has facilitated that, right? He dropped the Deagles to the 2 opening kills, right? The reason that he does that is even if they lose that round, even if they're unsuccessful in it, that his players, his stars, can still have a chance to shine and be used correctly in the next. I don't care what you want to say about the guy's mechanical ability. From a team player perspective, he is facilitating these rounds. You have to look at the big picture here. Counter-Strike, you need 16 rounds on the board. That's the only way you're getting the victory here. And this is another one. There's 2 times in this tournament alone that we've been casting their matches, and he's dropped Deagles across and they've won from it. That's pretty good odds.
Yeah, it's not bad, really.
It may have happened on more occasions. Maybe I haven't been taking note of it. Maybe I haven't seen it in all of the games. But at least in 2 occasions where I've watched it happen and I pointed it out, it's come true. And I'm not saying that's anything to do with me. I'm saying that's to do with the fantastic...
That's not. You're definitely saying it has to do with you, Chad.
You think it's all me?
It's all you.
God, I'd like that pressure. Do we have that power?
Doubt it.
Well, ENCE are going to try.
Let's be honest. If we had that power, we would abuse it.
Yeah, there'd be a lot more 16-1s on days we weren't happy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But ENCE here, they're going to force buy back in. They don't want to go without a fight. They want to show that anything you can do, I can do better. As CZ75s for Alexi B and Ariel. Scout Balu, Dig with Sergey, UMP for X7. 3 are going to push water position. Electronic's going to have a lot to deal with here.
Got the shot landed onto Edward, but the AK in return too strong, and Alu had nowhere to hide. Ooh, Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, and it nearly works. Doesn't quite, though, because Electronic was too close on the other side. I mean, they put so much effort into finding Simple that they were able to collect onto it with the swing and the MP9. Good money built up for Electronic as a result. He sits with 5,500. 1 kill at least going back Sergey's way. But he was all alone. And he's a bit of a snake. In 1-on-5, it's not uncommon to see the first kill go the way of the last remaining player because they're all making noise. They all just running around trying to find him. He can be silent and catch off one. That's all he gets, though. No guns carried over. 2-1 for Navi.
Yeah, so the interesting thing to point out here is if you win the pistol round and then lose the following, you only have the $1,400 loss bonus, right? So that's a big reason as to why they went for the force buy back. It would have potentially been 2 light pistol upgrades or, you know, a double eco of some variety. So now they're going to have to take a save regardless. They want to get a gun round going in the following. So this should be the 3rd round on the board for Navi here. But we have seen, there was a round, was it the MIBR game that we were casting where a full USP eco, maybe that was WSG, maybe I'm blurring everything together, but it was on overpass. They really struggled. That was going to be overwhelmed, so that's a great start.
Caught with the Molotov in hand.
Look where Simple is already. He's already basically in CT spawn. So if they can just hold them in place.
As long as the bomb doesn't get caught, that's on the move now toward the B site. Even a little cheeky. Alexi will take a lot of the damage from that. I say a lot, 3 or 4 really. Bomb planted, Simple took all the position away, and an AK picked up. 2x7 could be something to work with. Doesn't have armor, and they're already committed to the fight, so that's dropped. Alu's going to grab that, see what he can do with it, but not getting out, I don't presume, because they're still watching his position from Monster. And he's gone. Flamey with the kill. Golf clap.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Hiko's homies?
I think the cool thing, obviously yesterday we had a bit of a blemish with the whole Gratisfaction situation. Now that, I'm definitely not for any of that. Don't get me wrong. I want everybody to stay impartial in that regard. I don't want that to sway any round outcomes. But one thing that I have noticed is they definitely don't boo here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And
they seem quite pleasant.
If it's a good play, they're cheering regardless. You know, even though they're clearly a fan of Navi here, if ENCE do something great, you know, they're more than happy to celebrate good Counter-Strike, and that's something which...
I just think it's really fun to be in a crowd in another country where we... Sure, I am Shanghai, we had one, but we were out back, and that was at a festival. It's a little bit, you know, an expo, if you will.
Sure.
It's a little bit different. Convention, I think, is the word I'm looking for. So this is kind of fun.
Madness, some people might call it enjoy. That place was nuts.
Oh, yeah. Getting in and out of the buses when it was so hot outside was rather annoying.
That's a big kill from Edward right there. He did take a lot of damage, but one of the things to note is that despite his low HP play, he still got a lot done, and through the smoke.
Look at the damage, though. X7 has softened them up so considerably, but the problem is they have to convert that. Nade for Sergey might have a lot to do with it. I say that he's not really nearby. He's gone. He's way out toward the playground. Alexi B's the only one here. They've already committed to the save.
I like the little detail there from Navi with the 2 players who were low at Sandbag. What they did was, because Sandbag was smoked off, they boosted on it, which would have given him a kind of one way to look from the Sandbag to help clear parts of the site. So he wasn't completely useless. It's a good little move right there. And you're right, it's the smallest margins there that stop ENCE from having multi-kills on that side and actually being able to take this round away. They will go for the save. They will hold on to this AWP and for an AUG. And the loss bonus now almost complete. So go find one. At least they know kind of where he's hiding.
More HP on the 3 players than the 4 combined on the Navi side, but 4-1 indeed. AUG Electronic carried over. AUG Alexi bought out. CZ's for Ariel and X7.
Yeah, so they will be able to buy in the following, even if they get completely obliterated out of this round. But I'd say they'll take an aggressive stance with these guns, and then if they can get something done, actually fight for it. If Navi are able to juke and slide their way around the map with avoiding many firefights, then at that point those guns will just be saved and carried across to the next yet again. We saw a lot of saving from Navi on their CT side on Train. We saw even more on Inferno. And ENCE are kind of now having to feel the same level of pain in the early stages of their CT side on Overpass here. Through connector, that's what they want to clear. Alexi could go huge here. This could actually shut down any push Navi are looking for. Zeus and Flamey are going to have to trade off each other very well. The push is coming, the reload, timing is off.
Big time on Simple, though. Tried to turn it around. I take it back. Ariel found 2 more. Edward has to recover the situation. Pulls it down to a 3-on-2. Bomb still in his hand. He can work up slightly closer to the site. In fact, go all the way through, make contact. Molotov to cover off the ramp, make sure no one's hiding where X7 was on the pistol round. And Flamey has cleared out connector, but Alu is up above Sergey. First kill. Cleared it. He was a little bit closer behind than they realized. Unfortunately, the bomb down and both move in this direction. Sergey's taking all of the aggro, and Alu with the AWP is stuck inside the window with nothing to do. If he's going to move, he's got to make it now because both have left the site, and Alu's not taking advantage of the ground. No kit. If he had pushed in more aggressively, he might have given himself a chance at least to bait them away. In fact, if they were fighting for long enough, he might have been able to get on the defuse. Yeah, he'll leave the site.
They really isolated Sergey there. They both wanted to make sure that they could get that duel completed. I'm not sure if they thought that he was going to try and run away or not, but he was the avenue in, right? He had a little bit of utility. He also had the kit, so the fact that they did kill him means more than just one frag and forcing it into the 2v1 situation, and gave Alu little to no choice. And now with the loss bonus built all the way up, ENCE are going to be able to buy again. Alu can get head armor, defuse kit, full utility, so the saved AWP alleviates a little bit of pressure on him having to just go for the AWP with Kevlar or a glass cannon. Saves can be important, especially down the stretch. Only 2 orgs out. Ariel unable to afford one, and Sergey choosing to stick with the M4. We do have 3 defuse kits in play, and this time it wants to look like Navi are doing more of the same. Electronic is tasked with controlling the water push. They're waiting for any information in connector, but we can see that it's a 4-man B stack coming out from the side of ENCE here, with just Alu towards long. So this normally has a timer on it. At a certain point, the rotation has to come back over, and ENCE have to be aware that toilets control can be given up. So you have to be careful, very thorough in the way that you check the corners, clear those positions. This 4-man B lane was something we've seen a lot out of CIS teams in recent times. Navi, they've done it. Avangara is another team I noticed doing a lot. They were allowing James just to AWP that A bomb site. And it is a smart play because it locks down a B rush, right? And you know that there's a big window. It takes a lot longer to clear out all the little details over towards A. You have a lot more tells of utility. So I like it. It does feel like the finish will be on B because there's 45-ish seconds left on the clock now, and Navi haven't cleared long. They haven't cleared toilets. The only real estate they have is sewer, and obviously backyard where they can execute, and this is where they want to put pressure on yet again. The 4 players are still lying in wait for ENCE on this B bomb site.
Additional smoke deployed inside of Monster. Swing position just beside that, also covered off by Ariel. Seen he fired early. He fired early. If he didn't fire at all, he might have gotten away with it, but he panicked. And as he wanted to shoot, he was blinded. Up, good find onto Sergey at the ramp. This gives Navi the sight once again. Alexi wants to go on this. Zeus is ready for it. Simple's already got Alu. Alexi does get one back. Simple's low. In fact, it's down to just Flamey because he's caught him off, and he's got a chance on this. He absolutely does. With 82 HP, smoke down already toward Bags as well. He's got the kid. He can just hold this. He could hold this. Flamey's off. He's too far to the right. He's too far to the right. He's trying to get closer, but it's too late. ENCE pull one back. It's 5-2.
Big 3 kills from Alexi in that round right there. Taking that one away just under the nose of Flamey. The low HP, I'm sure if he was a little bit higher, maybe he would have been slightly more audacious in his approach to that 1v1 situation. That's a much needed round on the board here for ENCE. Only having one player survive in that situation means that They have to string together a buy by dropping over guns. Alexi has an AWP as well here, so we'll be rocking the double AWPs right now for ENCE. Does alleviate a little bit of pressure on the necessity of utility. Oh, Csgo popping the balloons. I guess that's so they can't boost to clear long.
Yeah, there is some reason to do that. That's not just for fun.
Removed an avenue there for Navi to go for a kick, but very quick suicide control by playing.
And Alu's actually using that position, by the way. So that's exactly why. He is on the flower pots, where in which they would see what that boost. Zeus is making contact. Zeus is a backside. Didn't find the first, but still recovered to get Aerial, who was looking his direction. Even if he went a step further, it would have been hard to imagine he wasn't shot at.
Wait, look how much room that opened up towards A. It was almost a complete rotation. They've dropped right back. Alu's in the site. Sergey's still close enough to help out. But now Navi can accelerate over towards this bomb site relatively quickly. Edward has enough utility to flash them back, smoke off a point, even throw the Molotov. And it's still Electronic and Simple, the duo coming through the toilets together. This is dangerous.
Good find, Alu. Look for a second, doesn't get there, but Sergey beats him to it. It's Electronic down, just Simple. Another 1-on-4. 41 seconds, and he has the bomb. Geez, it must be better odds. Bit situational, I think.
For sure, and I think Alu with that opening kill right there onto Edward alleviated so much pressure. I felt like if they got caught unexpectedly, because when I saw the rotation go down after those 2 kills on the B bomb side, it felt like there was going to be a massive gap, but Simple here, as good as he is, what we've seen from him, the impossibility of this one.
Hang on, though. He hits the shot on Sergey. It's Alu with an AWP up close. 15's, oh, I think he's done himself in. Alu doesn't peek it. Alu will now. I thought he might be able to catch the AWP off. Bait a shot out of him, takes down both, and then the rotation. I was giving him a chance for a moment there. And I suppose why wouldn't you when it's Simple?
Exactly. When that man's alive, there's always a chance. But now ENCE, okay. Starting to put things together. Standing and getting some very good jewels over towards that B bomb site. So Zeus was kind of just feeling out that round, going in alone. And then the quick call came in after the trades happened to just regroup and go back over towards A. But good awareness by ENCE, and especially Alu. When you are that ankle on the A bomb site with the AWP, there's a lot to keep in mind of the timings of the positions that are open. It can get difficult. Simple's actually searching towards B with the AWP this time. They're not putting too much pressure on toilets overall, so maybe they want to stay away from the aggressive AWP of Alu. But he is being very, very passive. He doesn't feel the need to go up and give away an opening kill. They know that they can sit back. Traditionally, Navi, you roll back the clock to when Overpass was first in, when it was really at its peak, when you were talking about the battles before between Luminosity/SK and Navi. It was such a slow approach, so many boosts, so much crazy play. Navi can start to accelerate their push towards this A bomb site now. Nades, flashes, and smokes are being used to clear out all the corners as they go. Now that smoke is more to block the AWPer, so Sergey's actually using it to his advantage to stay in front of. And now that he's thrown his own counter smoke, it means whatever they have put down has been eliminated. It means they can't use that to push closer into the bomb site. So good utility usage right there. Looks like it is going to be an A set piece. So if ENCE push forward in this situation, they could really unravel just with 1 kill.
Swings back around inside of the site, incendiary out behind the smoke, just to delay further in case they want to flash through. They would put pressure on his AWP, so he wants to buy space in that position.
Still a triple boost along.
They have, and Simple gets the kill with it. X7 is found. Alu now knows they're definitely there, but needs to find space because Sergey's still out in front of the site, and that gives him Zeus
10 seconds
to deal with, and couldn't. You're right, 10 seconds means Alu would be misfortunate. He finds a way. Could deny the plant. It has gone down now. Couldn't jump over top of yellow box. That was probably his best bet. And there's so many smokes, it would have been hard to spot anyone. He's been alive the whole time on this site and can't do anything about it. B, though, has the second op. It's gone. Double op retake when they're both inside. Could it possibly happen? Hit for Alexi B as well. He's going to get aggressive. There's no rifle for him to grab. Okay, take it back. There's an AK on top of the bomb, but he taps. He wants Alu to hold. He's going to have to scope in so fast. Double peek. That's the right way to play it.
He's got it.
But he actually turned it around. Alexi B. When do you see a double op 2 versus 4 retake? That is impressive from ENCE.
That is wild right there from ENCE. That Absolutely sick round to win. It felt like after all those trades went down on the A bomb site that it was over, but the fact that they stayed, they weren't scared. They were more than happy to take those fights. That is a sick retake right there. Normally, in the past, we've seen AWPs go full-on combat style towards the B bomb site in retakes. We're doing it over towards A, where there's so many different angles and duels to worry about. To be able to pivot in that last moment, yeah, I'd take a pause too if I was Navi. Score 5-4, still in Navi's favor. They will be able to get another gun round on the board, but maybe they just need to calm things down. We have ENCE. They've brought on in. X7 only has a UMP. Alu's been able to get the AWP back in his hands. Ariel and Sergey, M4s to their name. No utility to note for Sergey. And that's one of these key players over towards the A bomb site to slow down the approach through the bathrooms. It becomes a little bit more difficult. He hasn't completely bought yet. He still has $700, so they might be talking through what they want to do. He's going to go with the smoke and 2 flashes. And Alexi B not opting after that successful round to rock the double AWP still. We'll be going with the AWP. So this round right here, the buy is still better. Oh. X-ray there. You can see how close that duel was from going down between the AWPers on respective sides. Electronic does have out that Krieg. He has it over towards B, so if anybody jumps sandbags, I guess the scoped in may give him a little bit quicker of a reaction. At least tunnel vision. So you can see, look how early in the rounds the ENCE are happy to play from the site. You normally see a map like this where they play transitional, right? They play up close, they drop a smoke, they play behind it, T's have to use their utility, AWPer holds a line. Even if he gets flashed on, he'll take a shot just to keep them honest. But ENCE just, they don't want any business about it. They're saying, yeah, that's cool. You can take that territory. We know how to defend on the side as a team. They've gone with the flower pot setup where Sergey just lies in wait while Ali does his best to jiggle peek, spot, and bait for him. So hopefully lure them into a false sense of security. And Simple will be the man to deal with over at the side of the map. He's throwing some nades from long, but they know there's nothing behind that smoke.
Bounce. Edward tag 287. Sonic goes straight contact with the SG. Toward that ramp, that SG can be menacing toward the window as well. He's got range that he can work with. Simple's already found Alexi B. Fast repeat. MP. Simple will finally put X7 down. He got Flamey. Almost planted. Oh, enough HP. It's possible though. Zeus on 7.
Well, they went for the last one. Why not go for this one?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Alu's got the AWP again. He can hold from the window. Smoke has a gap in it, but not much revealed from that. It will now slowly dissolve and give him a chance to get closer. Scoping in and out repeatedly. Simple staring in his direction, but Sergey with that flash wants around the corner. Zeus he's up close. He can get a headshot position though. He's got to be very swift about it. Sergey gets it back. Simple down, you said it. They got the last one. Why not this one? Electronic. He's got time on his side, and he's got an AWP in his hands to save and carry over. It's now 6 for Navi.
I guess they just wanted to inflict as much damage as they possibly could on that T-side economy, but by saving that AWP.
See, I like this little clapping.
Yeah, he's eating his soup.
Good.
They didn't sit at home, but there's a gentleman in the audience eating some soup. I think it's soup.
It looks that way.
Could be ice cream.
But I just enjoy the golf clap. Like, it was a good round. Nothing crazy happened. Nothing to cheer about, but good round. I approve. It's very nice.
So, buying in behind those saved weapons.
I want some soup.
So I think we'll get something to eat after this one, that's for sure.
Who are we going to be eating with? Is it going to be ENCE or Navi?
Well, one of them will be getting ready for the next match, and one can probably go back and eat at the hotel. So, way.
Yeah, not sure which is which at this point. At 5-1 for Navi, I was thinking, geez, imagine they win the first map and then the clutch costs them the series, but now they're back in this. Now I'm going to say it. This is a rivalry that's really going to brew up. I hope these guys play each other a lot more in the future. A lot more events out. The bracket favors it. Flamey, he favors this round. He's got Alu and Sergey down. Electronic finds Ariel.
it's hard to see a way back into this round for ENCE. And even if they go to hold on to the guns, because of the very thorough nature that Navi go, by the time they get to the bomb site, you still have Electronic making sure nobody can push out from Sandbag into Sewer. Zeus is making sure nobody can push Monster. Edward has long control. Simple's waiting to make sure toilets are covered off. Flamey's clearing out towards the main area of access towards this A bomb site. Alexi B and X7 have chosen to play together. So they're in the swing, obviously leaning towards the A bomb site, but they can easily drop between two. But I think the fact that Navi are going towards them, Zeus is about to see B's clear. They can still drop back. I think they'll do that. I think they're going to go back towards B now that they know Zeus is in, and they will.
Flash directly in the face of Alexi. Came from a range, so he knows that he's got time on it. That one, not so much. Double flash. The second one doesn't catch him. He still gets the kill on it. Molotov off the stairs. Good retake of position behind the truck.
Wait, why is that Electronic knock on B? They don't have time to plant. They have to kill him now.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Edward's not inside of the site at all. Zeus is luckily in position, and it is going to be 7-4. He may... We were at 4 seconds when the round expired, and he was actually by the pillar. He may have just barely, but that's a big risk.
I was just watching him on the minimap, right? I made the joke yesterday about being more indecisive than my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, sorry.
Wow, that's, geez, Chad.
Freudian slip. But this is the same problem, right? Navi have had a problem in the past about losing these rounds that are really, you know, down to the wire, and they made the perfect call. I don't know why they didn't trust that Zeus was into the bomb site. He had the opportunity to flank all the way through spawn. Maybe they knew because Sandbag at that point, there could have been a slight window of aggression there. But that could have gone wrong. And that would have been a tilt round. That's one where Navi are going to argue in the booth. So they're lucky they got away with that.
Electronic gets out X7. Back to pistols. Navi stretching their legs again. Yeah, that would have been crazy if that cost them. But I think he was close enough. I don't know if he was still moving or not, though, right? Because sometimes you get there 4 seconds, but it takes that little half second to get
nudge.
Yeah, it's like the animation and actually getting it to initiate the plant. Good positioning behind the pallets. They are looking that way, but they aren't actually thinking anyone's still there. And Electronic, very well timed, steps out to find 2 players. Alu and Sergey, all that remain before Navi will double that of ENCE and find 8 rounds to 4. Put us 1 round.
Oh, next 2.
Further in the books, and Edwards got it.
Navi play like frustratingly slow. When you play against the right, you're just sitting there watching your crosshair, and you know that they're going to come at some point.
Wave. Look, we can wave. We're on camera.
We're on camera?
Yeah, look.
Oh, cool. I'm not holding the post.
We're breaking the 4th wall at this point.
There are no barriers in esports. Everyone can enter.
It's true. Absolutely true.
All right, ENCE right now, they can't win the half, but they can still aim for 7. The double AWP setup that they ran before netted them around in an unlikely retake situation on that A bomb site, and Alexi's going to be the man rocking it this time round. Alu, he's only going to have the AUG, so maybe he's not feeling the AWP right now. He's going to be over towards connector with Sergey. So much presence to make sure that they lock down the connector and sewer part of the map, because right now nobody has their eyes on A whatsoever. Flamey, well, he's got their eyes trained on them as he'll get the first, traded out. You can see there's still 4 players completely over towards the B side of things for ENCE. So there's no trouble because they can rotate back through spawn. They've alleviated a lot of pressure in the early stages towards the B bomb site. So now they can probably play a 2-2 split without too many issues. And Navi, knowing that close connected position, have to send somebody through to make sure it's clear. They need to take their time. Time in that previous round wasn't a problem, but doesn't mean it can't be going forward. One of the things that ENCE do really well on their B bomb site is play for information off of one another. They flash for each other, they make sure that they're picking continuously. They don't just let you have too much of the map for free, especially when they're feeling an impending threat. Electronic and Zeus are going to go for a boost, and then might actually be able to catch the head of X7, depending on the angle that they boost at. Because he's just on the other side of the pillar here.
Edward gone. Okay,
that's there it is.
Electronic though that gets it back. X7 goes down. Nearly caught Ariel going back to the same position, but the fact that he's in the same position means they think it's clear. Good trade from Simple as a result, but now Alexi B. Second off, resounding, gets 1 kill. Simple just steps in, removes him, and Sergey has to work with an M4. Simple's gotten close up, sees at 75, but doesn't realize he's coming from the balcony, and Sergey gets the jump. 8-5, they'll hold on for 1 more. That puts us into rounds now 14 with money on either side.
Alexi's been that impact man so far. In a lot of the rounds, he's had multi-kills
I say money on the other side, not really a lot for the CTs. Carry on.
Yeah, they're not working with much, but they did get that AWP to drop across. Well, Alexi B, he's had another impact round right there. That's good work from the in-game leader, but he needs some other players on his team to step on up and get into this match, because ENCE, it's not over yet. We're still obviously in the first half. Take a little bit of a look on HTV.org at the advanced stats. Yeah, Alexi B's had 3 rounds with multi-kills here, contributions for his team to get on the board. So that's a big one to walk away with right there for ENCE. Not really coming out on top of the crazy clutch situations, but they can get it done when it's close by the book. 1 for 1 for 1.
For 1 for 1.
Could happen up to 9 times. So because of the order of the rounds as well, Matt, as we keep talking about with this new money system, it's not like ENCE have been able to build up the surplus of the $3,400 bonus. It's gone. They won a round, they lost 5 straight, they got 3 back. So obviously they're starting to whittle down that bonus again. They've lost 3 on the row, and now they've won another one back. So I think 2 rounds left in the half. It will just be a B set piece.
Trying to find the angle, can't. Smoke's down in front of them, so they want to boost above it. That's quite clever. That'll work. Aerial's on the other side of it, however, and it's still below the smoke. Electronic actually okay. It worked against him, but that was almost more fancy than even on train in terms of footwork, because he jumped on his teammate's head and pushed the smoke, and I think he was going to try and run boost himself beyond them, but unfortunately Aerial took down his stilts and then found him falling in front as well.
Well, ENCE have been able to steady here. They're looking good now. They've got the double orbs back out. 1 for Alexi, 1 for Alu. Everyone's going to have diffuse kits. Csgo can buy into head armor if he really wants to. There's no reason he can't. They can upgrade their pistols as well on a lot of their players. Navi will have 4 AK-47s and an AWP again. So they're going to do the quad boost here, Matt. We're not tracking it right now, but they might actually be able to get Alexi, who is up towards heaven.
Oh, no. Not if they do that.
They had a chance. Alexi's now watching, so if they go for it again, he'll get the better of them here. I'm actually looking at Alexi's POV right now, so he's still trained on that position. Little does he know that they're not going for it. You'd think a move like that, you'd be able to do pretty easily.
Yeah, it's the slide of the 3rd man that I think people mess up a little bit. You got to kind of look into the corner. Actually, come away from the corner about 20 or plus degrees or so and really push yourself in. Aerial. Good hold. He's lost his teammate behind, though, and Alexi. 7 is there. Should he be able to find another? That's up for debate because Simple's actually got him down. Aerial falls as well, and it's a 3-on-2.
So the man who's found a lot of impact being down now, a lot of pressure now on Alu and Sergey. The 1v1 to earlier. He's going to light up a headshot right there onto Edward. Almost gets a second. Zeus and Simple, when they've been left alive in clutches, their success rate has been relatively high.
Let's see if it works out. You're right. They have played off each other very well. Zeus clutching out a 1-on-2, and Simple fell on Inferno. Simple's not falling this time. Sergey has. Ali was waiting for it. Knows it's there. Oh. Okay. All right. Sees Ed. Just peeks him twice and absolutely rails him despite that he's got an AWP. And it's now 9-6 for Navi. ENCE, by the way, actually won the knife round, started out CT for a change.
Maybe that's a bad omen.
Maybe. Not used to it. They don't do that in boot camps.
So to kick things off, that 5-round streak that we saw early on to make the scoreline 5-1, remember, was off the drop deagles from Zeus for both Electronic and Simple, and both of them were able to find entry kills on towards that A bomb site. You think about as well, if you go back and you look at a lot of these rounds, Zeus was finding so many openings onto the B bomb site. Whether or not the rounds were converted off of that, he's been playing quite well, has 10 kills to his name. Edward up there on 14, 13 for Simple, 11 for Electronic, Flamey down at 9. So relatively even haul right now for that. On the other side of things, Alexi, think about that clutch round with the double orbs. Alo and Alexi retaking the A bomb site. That was a very difficult one to win. Sergey's won a 1v1 as well towards B. So they've been able to just hold on to this one. 9-6, it's not the worst of scores. It's obviously not the best being on the CT side of a map like this one. But just again, I want to talk about that round 2 break. If Navi are unable to get this pistol round, the second round is still super dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. No question. We still have a game. And we're going to get back to it now.
So no defuse kit in play, so maybe Navi want to do something a little bit more assertive off the bat here. You do see Zeus with the CZ75. Up close sandbags is a good position from that, but it's going to be quick. It's coming through Monster. The Molotovs are through.
Zeus has a smoke as well. It's just deployed, but they're already behind him. It's self-preservation to hold him off the sandbags, and he uses it with a gap because he was intending to hold off water, but it gives him a chance to peek. He can control it. He wanted to defend water, and now he's able to attack inside of the site. Sergey's down, bomb never even got planted.
Just a slight delay there. The fact that they overlooked that position, they didn't expect anyone to be near that smoke that he had dropped on down. That window of opportunity, everybody had to swing to that position out of fear. The CZ. Zeus with a lot of impact just there, and now Navi, you don't have to worry about that second round break I was talking about. It's the second round conversion. And ENCE are going to keep this one conservative.
Looking back at the electronic kills from Heaven, which were very impressive. We were watching Zeus in that time. Simple MP5. Got to kill it in the first round here after getting on with the Deagle. It's not the best of weapons for sprays, but then he finds 3. Close range, it certainly has its effects. Much further than that, it starts to fall off considerably, but electronic cleans it up, and we go to 11-6. We go with 5 rounds remaining, potentially for Navi.
Guns are going to come out across the board here. There won't be any AWP in the opening stages. Alu will have to be restrained on that AK-47. And this is where, I guess, the tactical superiority of a fundamentally sound team like ENCE will have to shine through. Either something that they've dry run time and time again, or a default spread. It looks like they want to lean towards the B-bomb site. Sergey's just going to throw some nades over towards A to keep them honest, but they're going to quickly go through to sewer. Now that they've got control of that, they can either pick off of it, set up an execution. Aerial gets really aggressive. He'll get taken down. The MP5, a hero in 2 rounds now, gives the opening to Navi. Free upgrade for Edward. And some damage done to X7 and Alexi in the meantime.
Okay, and the smoke unfortunately works against X7.
It's strange they're doing that, Matt, just pushing through like that against the SMGs as opposed to doing something cohesive.
And look at this, they smoke off that AK now. So nade, did it blow it back down Monster further? I'm not sure, because Flamey knows there's a rifle there if he can find it.
I'm going to fly in and take a look.
I think the nade may have pushed it back. Well, I think it's in the smoke. I think it's just great. Find it, doesn't matter. Sergey's got Simple. Bomb will be gathered by Alu. Simple's the only kill that goes ENCE's way so far. There's the AK. It is just sitting in the smoke. See if Alu does anything about it. He can get forward. If he drops that, there's 2 down in that position. He has the bomb as well. They're looking his way. He's found the first, no swing yet. He's expecting it. He even pre-fired Zeus, and he makes no mistake. Held his composure, didn't overcommit to the spray. Didn't get low, but they are low, and it's a lineup for Edward. He turns it around.
Gets the opening kill with the MP5 at sandbag, a free upgrade to the AK-47, and then just has to blow a slight breeze, and they fall on over as they try and make their way up through Monster. I felt like Alu had done enough to give them at least a chance to get into the bomb site, but Edward's still in a forward position. Great stuff from him here. ENCE now, they're in trouble. They're in hot water, that's for sure. Remember, these 2 teams went toe-to-toe at the Major not that long ago. It was a game that went at least all the rounds in 2 of the maps, Train and Mirage. Just to, it was a bit of a blowout, a 16-3 victory for Navi. This time round, we've had 2 extremely competitive first maps. Simple's going to get, I'm going to say overwhelmed, but he's just standing, gets 1, will be traded.
Smoke goes down, but already they're burning alive inside of it. They should have used it to extinguish rather than cover off the site. It spread just enough. Alu and Sergey with only the pistols. It looks like 13 rounds secure. They want to get the bomb plant on B. That's why they sent so many A. They will at least succeed in that endeavor. Sergey as well with the Eagle can find another. There's low enough HP. Wants headshots. He's trying to pull the angle, but Edward works his way in, and Alu has to go back on his own with the P250. Time still ticking. Fortunate enough to get toward the diffuser. Doesn't even come close, as it's another round for Navi. None so far to ENCE in this half. They are only 4 in, so they'll be guns again this time.
And they can get the AWP for Alu, has 7K on the board, so this is a full investment right here for ENCE. Round number 20, you can see the best AWPers in the server. It's simple. Yeah, that makes sense. But Alexi B, he was actually doing the lion's share of it in that first half. Maybe in certain situations, Ali wasn't feeling confident. Alexi was getting the job done. And look, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Flamey's going to play in front of this Molotov, so he's going to get tagged on. That might let Sergey, he's going to say no, that he's in front, but Flamey, he strikes and he's going to push forward. So pressure is going to try and come on in through the sewer position. They have to cotton off his position and lock him down, because you can't leave him to float here. There's so much flank potential if they don't deal with Flamey right now. Alu doesn't really seem too worried about it. Flamey's going to get 2 more.
Wow. 3 kills for him in the rounds.
A 4?
He's got X7.
Let
Just
him have
Alu
it.
left. Does Flamey go hunting? Alu's on the run. And Flamey,
they're chanting for an ace.
He's actually working back from the ladder. They don't want to peek him. Alu's unfortunately
Oh,
gonna...
no!
Oh, all right, fair enough. That's fine. If you're going to steal an ace, I suppose that's the best way to do it. They tried to back off and let Alu have space so that Flamey could close the distance, but unfortunately he was walking toward them, so that'll work. That'll do.
I would love to see a replay of those shots. We just got it here.
I like that it was the left-click knife as well, not a right-click. I wonder if Simple was even trying to just soften him up. I don't even know if he was trying to kill him, because he looked over like, sorry, man.
Sorry, man.
Maybe he was just trying to weaken him up to make him get the ace.
Oh, alrighty. Well, Navi now only 2 rounds away from taking this, from knocking ENCE out here in the quarterfinals, for getting their revenge from the major. But Alu doesn't want to give up just yet. He'll find one. Trader back from Zeus, continuing to put up good performance, is the in-game leader.
And maybe this is starting to show where, again, ENCE, I'll give them credit, they're in this series. They absolutely played a solid one, whether this goes their way or not. But this starts to show some of that depth, right? It was not overpass at the major. They bring it in here, even though the desk thought overpass was actually going to favor them. We're seeing that favoring them against certain opponents isn't necessarily giving you enough at the top consistently. X7.
Okay.
They pass each other in the smoke?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that in this tournament. I don't think it's actually going to matter. It won't have too much impact on this game. See, Zeus kind of knows that something's up. He was just checking towards the side. Edward also went back in to clear it, and they've gone past each other once again.
He might get the one up on Zeus as a result of this.
I think
Zeus is
definitely.
walking around. Down he goes. It's just Edward left in a 1-on-4, so good positioning from ENCE pays off. And Edward's just saving his weapon. Edward's talking to them as if to communicate perhaps that they need to be a little more aware and astute.
Yeah, some overextension just there. I think one of the things that you don't want to allow if you are Navi is to give ENCE a chance to get back into games, because we've seen what has happened with these guys when they are looking down and out, where they battle back. They don't give up. ENCE aren't the team who, you know, they get rolled over very often. Sure, I mentioned that 16-3 scoreline before, but the thing is, their major run, so much of that was off the back of comeback after comeback, looking like they're down and out, showing poise under pressure, which is years above their experience as a team.
Yep. And
that was one of the things that we attested to this team. So this is not done just yet. There's always a chance, especially with the way that ENCE have made their mark in Counter-Strike in 2019.
He's aggressively thrown toward the bench position. X7. Goes back around to just make sure no one's going to push out a monster. Edward backs off at short. So those two will not be confrontational at this point in time.
Probably a good idea to think better of that. Those bullets were not too far away from tagging up X7 there. Doesn't want to take any unnecessary damage. Navi are doing what ENCE were doing. They're not posturing forward on their CT side, right? We can see on the minimap at the top left that everybody's almost in a cluster in that A bomb site and over towards B. They're not spreading out. They're not playing a transitional defense. And now as the clock is ticking down to roughly 55 seconds, ENCE are starting to clear out different positions on the map. You can see Electronic didn't even have both hands on, and in the meantime, Simple's going to take down Sergey. He's going to drop another smoke down, which allows Electronic to stay in his forward position.
Huge. Simple. X7 gets both. That is massive because it's at B. They can back the bomb away. They can actually rotate to that side of the map, but they aren't so far. Electronic Inside of the smoke, Simple's there as well on the op, remember. And he strikes back! He strikes back and he takes away the bomb. He grabs an AK. And Alu's in the bathrooms with nowhere to go. 20 seconds. He'll even walk back and does at least make a passed shot. I thought Electronic had the jump on him. Simple's missed. Does Alu finally get one back in return after so many going the way of Simple? Alu, he brings it back to a 2-on-1, 8 seconds. Zeus inside of the site. Here's X7 coming. It comes to kills. It comes to kills, but Alu's missed the shot, and Zeus has series point for Navi.
One more round now. X7, it felt like he had done enough. But Electronic just bounces straight back through the smoke, of course. And those kills put a stop to what almost felt like the round. Alu does his best to make things interesting, and then Zeus with a multi-kill of his own. So back and forth we went in round number 22, but going into round number 23, guns are up again. Alu on the AWP, AKs across the board. Let's see the approach from ENCE here, because it's do or die right now. There's no way out. I said it wasn't done just yet, but if they don't show fight here, it definitely will be. This could be the duel. Edward aggressively stands through, pulls out an A, gets caught off guard. Alexi, the playmaker, the bailout man for ENCE in times of need. He finds an opening.
Zeus. Oh, baby. That's a way to level it back out at 4-on-4.
Zeus is feeling himself here, up to 19 kills. He's tied with Simple, tied with Electronic, fragging as good as the best of them.
Hopefully he's not feeling himself too much, because he needs a hand on the mouse and keyboard. Simple, AWP back out. Blast wants to check short, good trade, Flamey. Getting X7, but dies to Alu. Shadow, that's all Simple needs. Ball down, misses the second shot. If he followed that, it would have been all three, because he got the third on the second shot, or rather the second on the third shot, I should say. 1-on-1 though with Sergey. And Electronic, bomb was dropped, backside of the ramp. And Simple would have called that. So Electronic stays in the window and wants to play it. Smoke down, he won't be able to see if it's picked up or not, but it's Sergey that gets the jump on it. Knew he was gonna push through and it faded. And ENCE survive one further round.
The babyface bandit of Sergey there, not blinking. A lot of weight on his shoulders in that situation. It's the better of Electronic and posts round number 8 on the board. They're going to need to put up an absolute T-side haul here. Not only are they up against it, but they're on that T-side where it just becomes more difficult to crack into bomb sites. Obviously, if they get the momentum going, it looks like they're very close at this point to breaking the money of Navi, who have 2 CZ75s in this one. They have the AWP of Simple. Zeus on a Famas, Edward with the Org. But everybody right now is contributing across the board here for this Navi roster. Normally you'd say, oh, well, stay away from the stars, but you need to stay away from everybody here because the multi-frag potential is not stopping, and this duel towards Connector could be massive.
Lex standing in behind the wall. Sees it line up, but not enough ammo. Still damage there. Alexi B goes down at 36. And ENCE rotate back around bomb, heads over towards the bathrooms. Aerial with the Galil.
Sergey has been a clutch factor in several 1v1s for them in this, and now he's out of the equation very early in the piece. He's going to apply pressure on Aerial and X7, who are sitting on 11 and 10 kills respectively, so those two may have to get something done if Alexi now half HP and Alu on the AWP can't make too much of an impact. It's their time to shine.
And brutal smoke out short. 33 seconds and pretty much everyone's focused on the B site. Is that enough? I say everyone. Zeus the only one not here. Rotate over. Molotov down. Simple knows they're coming this direction. Aerial's already got Edward with the smokes in place. They should be able to plant. Flamey wants to counter that. Flamey's going to counter that. No bomb plant. 15 seconds. AK in hand. Simple does at least get Alu back. He shot his teammate, but Alu beat him to it, and Aerial gets the kill. 15-9.
ENCE again. Continue to steady. The rounds are close. The clock is ticking down. The pressure is mounting. Navi striking at every moment, and yet managed to continue to post. 2 on the trot here. Their third T-side round. Round number 25, Navi. They only need one more. They don't have to force buy. They don't have to go for anything too crazy. They're actually going to invest into 4 HE grenades. Flamey has a CZ75. Zeus has a P250. The other 3 have just stuck in with the USP. So We will see where these grenades get used, as everybody actually has stacked on over towards B. Flamey's playing the point man with that CZ, and he'll make the call on when to use the nade. Simple is doing a lot of talking right now. But they just need to stay calm, Navi, if they want to take this one. They're in the driver's seat. Whereas ENCE, they have to battle back, and they have to make Navi sweat. They have to make Navi tilt. They have 2 MAC-10s. One for Alexi B, one for X7. They're just very slow in this approach. If Navi wait and don't get jittery, don't start falling off one at a time and running over thinking, oh yeah, maybe it's A, then this B stack might really come into fruition. Patience is a virtue, they say, and in this situation, maybe more so. The bomb is dropped back towards the bunny pallets. They should make the club music there a little bit louder, I think. Look at Alexi, though. Just to note.
I'd go there more just to hang out.
See, he is the playmaker for this team, right? The in-game leader. He goes in and he gets so much information. He can make a call on what they should do. So now that he's pushed up that far, I was going to say the rest of the players can scuttle over towards that side, but now he's in a duel. Maybe that changes.
ENCE on for another historic stage comeback. Have momentum. Shift in their favor with 3 in a row. Should say 3 from the last one. Holds for Flamey to push, and I think he's going to do the same toward Monster. They're doing they can.
Feeding him at this point.
He's got to get a reload in, unfortunately, and that's when they strike. Give them an AK. So you are right, he feeds them.
They should try and do damage here if you are Navi, right? You want to take away as many guns as possible, while ENCE should just do their best. Obviously, they need to buy in every round right now. But also giving away kills to the MAC-10s, that's an extra $600 that can go in the pocket that they can invest into AKs with. And Alexi wanted to find something.
Oh my. That's a problem, just for what the reasons you were saying. So he's going to try and run him down with MAC-10. He's got to be careful. Doesn't take too much damage, actually only gets 1 hit.
This is a bold statement. Individually speaking, this might be the best series I think I've ever seen Zeus play.
This tournament might
CSGO.
be one of the best I've ever seen him play. I mean, this tournament he has had, okay, there's been a few off games still, but trading off of Simple in the group stages looked excellent, and you're right, today he's looked phenomenal. I think he somehow has lit a fire under his own butt and is actually picking up his socks lately.
Yeah, he's performing very well here. As a team, they're playing much better. If we note just quickly, if you look at ENCE's money, they're having to drop guns across, it seems, right now, but Alexi B and Ariel only have 4,400 and 4,200, right? So what's important to note here is if Alu is dropping across an AK, then yeah, sure, that's fine. But if they weren't able to do that, those 2 players, they would have been strugglesome to get full utility.
Keep in mind, this series has gone the distance, and they play whoever wins this immediately after in the semifinal. There will be about a 40-minute break to give them a chance to get some food, to relax, but don't relax too much. You want to keep that adrenaline going. You want to stay absolutely focused. But whoever was going to win this, obviously, you want to win a 2-0, but for more than just the reasons of having a comfortable series, you wanted to win a 2-0. Get through and get moving.
So Navi have gone for a light investment here. Simple has a deagle, armor, smoke. There's a deagle and has a flamey as well. Shotgun for Edward, so I assume he might go towards that connector position. Ooh. Quad boost.
Here we go, Alu. They make it this time. And he's got, oh, the train! Oh, the train! He even tries to wallbang the train. He still
what?
does show.
Huh?
I'm sorry?
Excuse me?
What texture does that hit?
I think he shot as well when the train came past, because obviously the crowd cheered. He's thought, oh no, they know I'm here, I'm going to just take a pot shot if I can. Gets an opportunity to go for the second, and then that doesn't land. But look at this position Simple's taken. They're very up close and personal and connector as well, man.
Little spray of the deagle to get the shot. 2 HP for Sergey. I need to see a replay of that.
So the best avenue right now for ENCE is if they actually go A long. They don't know that that part of the map is completely clear, but that avenue is free for them. With Electronic up close and personal, he can push. But X7 is lingering, so he will be ready. As Zeus and Electronic now, they go on a little expedition mission. This could be the time where he almost gets caught off, looks behind. And now Zeus from behind again. The in-game leader getting a big kill. He's going to know it's going to be an A-side attack right here.
Flamey waiting by the truck. Needs to get get someone to pull the attention, can't do it. Shotgun from Edward at that range. Okay, come on, man.
You miss every shot.
Bomb down those 20 seconds.
2v1.
Edward did get aerial as well in the second attempt. Smoke as well. That could have given him a chance to close the distance, but he gets found out. 16-11. We're seeing shades of the Liquid comeback almost.
So just having a look at the booth here, trying to see how much body language I could pick up right now from the Navi guys. Just taking a drink. Everybody seems focused. Nobody looks too worried right now. Still just one more round. ENCE doing their best to battle back in, and that's the opening. Simple right there. Strikes, takes down Alu.
Takes down Alu, who is heading out toward Long. That may take away potential for them to try and get some map control. Haven't seen Long itself used a lot in this series, to be fair. LexiB tries to get the jump shot from short.
Look towards Alexi to be that bailout guy yet again. He's done it for them on countless occasions. Even if it's just information he gets, they're still able to react off that. Now, I said that Aerial and X7, they need to step up. Now, they've both gotten a couple of kills in the last few rounds. X7 now, he has to go huge.
Good oh, no. Oh.
It's like a pinball in that tunnel.
Yeah, I don't know if it is a good recovery or what, but it does recover. Smoke down Alexi. Does he have a gap on Alexi? I don't think so. I don't think so. Bomb still outside of Monster.
It's all on Zeus here, Matt. He has to fight two in Monster here. The flash comes out. He grabs one.
Now a smoke to give him some space. He gets back in the pit. Just two to find. Sergey and LexiB. Bomb is still in their hands, and it's down to the man holding it to go against four. Simple's rotated back in. AWP, and he finds the final kill fittingly in the series to go 16-11 and 2-1. They'll play in 40 or so, probably about an hour's time, against Renegades. What a series.
Yeah, great rivalry going forward that you outlined there. We've seen more maps this time round, 2 extra ones. Inferno coming in, Overpass coming in, and I think there's going to be one round that sticks out in everybody's mind that's not going to leave us for a long time. Simple, the absolute god of Counter-Strike. That situation turned this series on its head. ENCE could have closed it there. ENCE could have had this 2-0. They were looking hot to trot. And now it's been stolen away. The handshakes come on in.
And I'll still give it to them. That may not be a series win, but that is consistency. That is showing that the world-class teams have to consider ENCE as a threat, and they have earned their stake at the top. That was a great series. Again, you mentioned it. Finally, one of the 3 memorable moments. The clutch in the major at the semifinal, the clutch that Electronic almost got on train, and then Simple gets one, changes Inferno completely, and then they win in the 3rd map. I mean, it could be completely Navi winning in both of those cases if any of those go differently.
And that's the best thing about these two teams going toe-to-toe, right? Navi do need the individuals to step up to snap them out of those rounds, while ENCE, the fundamentals, it's always there. Yeah. And they just close out the rounds they should, and that's why we get such enthralling close games of CS.
Yeah, and it was great to see Simple turn things around as well, because on Train, I think he's got a few fans here in China.
Just a few.
We said they're traditionalists and they're fan favorites, and ENCE is still a new team. They love NIP, they love Fnatic, they love VP. We saw VP shirts in the crowd. Simple's earned his place here and earned his respect here, despite being so young. But he was on Train, not what we expect from him. Sure, he had decent kill totals, but a lot of them were exits, and the impact wasn't there. Very quiet second half, and then what a series from there on out.
Yeah, lots of saves, right, on both CT sides in the first 2 maps from Navi. The saves on Train, detrimental in the end, and almost you could say the same thing for Inferno. Even though they got away with the map, it felt like at some point they needed to get a little bit more dangerous. Maybe that's a new problem with the money system when you're starting on the CT side. So we shouldn't be too far away from the Simple interview on stage.
我们这边要采访的，大家应该已经喊出来了嘛。那首先想要问的问题就是，他们之前在卡托维兹也是输给了 ENCE， 那这次能够成功复仇是什么样的感觉 ？Alright, so first question, you guys lost to ENCE before in Katowice. How does it feel to get revenge?
你好。Yeah, so it feels pretty tough to play today. I mean, that was really close game at EM Katowice because we lead like 3 times on all of the maps, and yeah, they always managed to do a comeback. And for this game, we were more prepared, we were more ready, we knew what maps we're gonna play, and of course we expect them to play like this again. But right now we practice more harder, and we were prepared, I guess, better.
也是说到在卡托维兹的时候，他们其实几次都是领先的，然后不停地被对方追分。然后这次他们的比赛，他们对地图池，他们也是全部在他们的预料之中。然后他们觉得他们这次更加的努力，更加的勤奋的训练，然后也能够拿到这个好的结果。那第二个想要问的问题就是在Inferno 的时候，他有一波 Ace， 就从那个 Ace 开始之后，就感觉他们有点止不住了。想要问当时对那个情况是什么样子？So for the second question. Inferno, you guys were 9-11 behind. That was when you had that ace on the up. Can you tell us how did the momentum change for you guys? Because after that, you guys just seemed unstoppable.
I mean, I remember time when I lost my clutch to X7, and before the last kill, I saw that like not this time. And everyone was so hyped after we get this round and that managed to come back in game. So just, yeah, I don't know, just a good round, I guess. I mean, I was so good in some timings because 1 seconds was left to plant the bomb. The guy from short, from middle, just if he had more time to be more close to me, I wouldn't win this, but thanks that we actually won.
就是上次，当时也是他回想起他之前在残局的时候曾经输给 X7， 那这次他残局的时候，他也是觉得他脑袋非常清楚，然后时间也不太够，所以 X7 没有足够的时间能够接近他，然后最后也是能够拿下这个残局。那最后想要问的问题。就是说，他们接下来要面对牛仔，他们当时昨天为什么要选择，就是要连打2场 ？So the next question is, why did you guys decide to play back-to-back matches today? Because you're gonna have really tough opponents in both ENCE and Renegades.
Because we played, I guess, few times after the break, and this game was against Australis, and when they already was warm up, it was more easy for them, you know, like. Was already warm up and play the second game in a row, so we decided to do this as team, and we think it's gonna be better for us.
也是说到上次他们打 A 队的时候就是这样的，中间休息了1场，然后他发现对手的手感保持非常非常的热，所以他们也是希望能够延续他们这场的手感来面对牛仔。那我们采访就到这里结束，我们把时间交还给分析席。
Thank you，谢谢。
They are still screaming his name. He said not this time when it came to the clutch situation, and he did not allow it to happen. ENCE, they do end up going out, but they put up a massive fight. Interestingly enough, though, right, Navi saying they practiced harder, they were prepared, and they certainly knew what maps were going to be played. Maybe a little bit better than what we've seen from Navi in the past in that sense.
I would definitely say so. This Navi looked way more well-rounded. They looked prepared, as he said as well, and they looked like they had a good feeling going on for this one. Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit scary on Inferno. There were a point where you thought to yourself, all right, ENCE won the first map. They're looking to close out Inferno, but then Simple turned up, and from that point, I felt Navi hands down were the better team today, and I think ENCE, despite having a good performance, really didn't play up to the same level we saw at the major. I think they just got outclassed here in the later stages of Overpass. And not only did you see Simple step up, but you saw the entirety of Navi as a team step up for the first time in a very, very long time. So it was good signs from Navi and a very, very convincing win, I would say.
Yeah, I think the key point is that we see all 5 players actually step up. To me, that was the best version of Navi I've seen at this tournament, the scariest as well. And they looked effortless. It looked flawless and easy for Navi, which is a hard thing to say, against ENCE. But when you have Zeus like entry fragging out a monster, when you have Edward, making space for the other players, then suddenly, as we said in the pre-show, Electronic, Simple, they can close the rounds way easier. So this is a very scary Navi. If you add that to the fact that Overpass is actually a very good map for them, their map pool becomes extremely scary. On the side of ENCE, I don't think they should be too disappointed. I think I think Navi were more prepared on overpass that they could see come in, that I could see come in personally. We talked about the video and how ENCE should be happy with that.
Yeah.
But no big disappointment for ENCE, I believe.
And this is what it comes down to, right? Is ENCE can still walk away with the heads held high. It may feel like a tough loss now, but you are challenging one of the best teams in the world. And it's great to see that ENCE didn't get just washed out of any of these maps, right? They changed up the veto just enough. They decided to ban out Dust too early on, and this saw us give 3 competitive maps across the board. And to be fair, anyone could have taken them, right?
And I think it's very important that not only us, but also the fans out there watching right now sort of like manage their own expectation in terms of ENCE, right? This is a lineup that came out of nowhere at the major. All of a sudden, they're in the major final, and we have to consider them one of the best teams in the world. I would still say that they're a top 5 team in the world right now, despite losing to Navi right now. But then again, you gotta manage your expectations. You cannot expect ENCE all of a sudden to consistently every single tournament put up a fight against the likes of Navi, against the likes of Liquid or Astralis for that matter, as we've seen the past 2 tournaments. So kudos to ENCE. They're still a top team. They still have a long way to go here to really manifest themselves as one of the very best in the world, but they're definitely on the right path right now.
I mean, losing 2-1 to Navi in this fashion, that is nothing to be ashamed about.
Exactly.
And as you said, Inferno, I think they were very, very close to the breaking point of Navi. That could have been a 2-0, and what would have been our segment if, you know, ENCE wins 2-0? That would be, that's insane, ENCE did it again, I've done it again. So, you know, they were close to that. Obviously, in the distance, stamina-wise, Navi just got the better of ENCE. That's a good learning experience. Maybe, you know, they're going to realize some weaknesses they've had on overpass, surely. But still a good performance from ENCE.
And that's what I look forward to see, right? Not only did ENCE play well here, but how is the next version of ENCE going to look like? We have a Sonny out there. He's not on the team right now. Is there maybe rumors surrounding, you know, that would be a great pickup? Sure thing. But I think ENCE right now should be very focused on themselves. Coming into the next tournaments, you know, keep progressing, keep getting better, keep following the same path they're on right now, and we'll see an ENCE that is going to manifest themselves as one of the very best teams in the world. I have no doubt. Asked me 2 tournaments ago, asked me after the major, I would say, yeah, let's wait and see. But by now, I've been convinced ENCE is definitely a top team, and they play like a team with a lot of experience, despite them having next to none experience at this level, and that is what impresses me the absolute most.
Now, Mito, the interview down there, he asked the perfect question as to why Navi decided to play back-to-back games, right? They've done it before where they have taken the break. Simple said they weren't a fan of it. They want to make sure they can come in warmed up. If they can play like this, and let's be honest, the players across the board all improved map on map. I have not seen, like Pimp was saying, in the longest amount of time, an entire Navi lineup step up. So if they can do that, my God, we're on for a good show. Yeah, we see that as we are all pointing at the same time, Zeus being top fragging with Simple on the map. Wait, is that really what happened? Was it really 24 frags for Zeus? that is insane, that is surprising, but at the same time, if we think about how we describe Astralis, that's what we would say, you know, everyone is capable of, everyone can have the game, can have the impact. Well, this time Navi did it. Zeus, I thought, was extremely good with the entry fragging, mostly on the T side, that's where he made the most impact. Edward as well on the CT side was impressive. This is a Navi that can win the championship. If we take this map, Overpass, and we magically make it happen to all the maps, then I think this is a championship Navi.
And I think that's one of the most impressive things about Zeus as well, right? Because we were discussing how he had a very bad showing on train. He was not able to hold that inside. He was basically not the sole reason, but he was a big part of the reason why Navi wasn't able to take train as their own map pick or ENCE's map pick. Now coming into Overpass, not only did he entry frag, as you said, but he was also winning clutches. He was making space, and he was playing a very solid game. You know, by the looks of it, he didn't really make any mistakes. And for a guy that gets a lot of criticism by the community and also sometimes by us for not playing well enough, this game was a testament to Zeus. He still has a place within Navi, and he's still a great player when he actually practices and when he actually puts in the effort.
If I can just get that Zeus right, say once or twice every now and again, you'd be happy if you're a Navi, right? Because it's been so limited in what we've seen in that aspect in terms of the fragging power. If this kind of step up can happen, this is the championship winning team. This is a team that can challenge some of the best out there. But they've still got a long way to go, I think, when it comes to it, right? We saw what happened on some of the other maps. We see little weaknesses they do seem to have. But the good thing is we're seeing a positive style come out from them now. And they're actually looking a little bit happier, right? We said it before the game in the booth. Smiles.
Yeah, I think they realized that they were very close to the exit door at some point on Inferno, so that sign of relief must be there. As well, it's great to see Navi kind of going better and stronger throughout the series, you know, finally winning that on Overpass. Now, I don't know how they're going to manage that break. They have now 30 to 40 minutes they're going to chill. are they going to be able to start the match against Renegade the same way they finished against ENCE? Then we're in for a banger of a game. But it's an exercise that is very complicated.
And the thing is, right, Renegades is a team which is almost in the similar situation to ENCE, right? Okay, they didn't make us to the grand finals of the major, but made a massive improvement on your overall team and the chemistry you have within that team. And it's going to be an exciting match to watch.
Definitely, and they're very much alike, ENCE and Renegades, in the aspect that they have a solid foundation, they have a solid team play, and they're definitely getting better in terms of map pool, in terms of individual players. They have their star players in JKS and in JKM right now, lightening up the server. So there's a lot of aspects that goes again when you talk about ENCE and Renegades, and that is why it's a good showing for Navi here that they're able to handle ENCE in this matchup. Now, they should more likely be able to handle Renegades in the same scenario, but obviously two different teams, two different aspects coming into it. One thing I do want to say though, so we don't sugarcoat it too much for Navi, flamie needs to step up. He had a very, I wouldn't say a rough game, but he has had a rough tournament so far. We haven't really seen the flamie we saw at the major so far in this tournament. So just imagine if he comes alive. Imagine if flamie becomes the flamie we saw from the major. That's when I will say that's when I will say Navi had the, you know, the composure and the skill, you know, to win the entire thing. But before I see that, I still think Renegades is going to be maybe not too big of a mouthful, but it's definitely going to be a close game.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I want to focus on just before we close this segment up is this Navi. We talk about what they can do, we talk about the individual skills of players across the board, but how did you guys make of it in terms of the teamwork you saw on Overpass? Because there certainly was an improvement on that, right? Especially from how Zeus's dynamic came with him entry fragging a fair bit.
But I don't think, in terms of team play, I don't think that was a Navi that is completely different from what we usually see. The difference was the first line of attack actually found success way more often, which means that the round, instead of being in a 3 versus 3 on the bomb side, for example, they were 4 versus 3, 5 versus 4. You know, they always had the difference, and they didn't throw away these rounds. They pretty much closed it once they had the bomb side. That was it. So in the game plan and how they approached the map, I don't think that was different. They just found more success early, and anytime ENCE were trying to be aggressive at the beginning of the round, Ali would get shut down. Simple would always make the difference. So ENCE had no way of disturbing Navi in the game plan, and they pretty much went through the motions.
And there's different aspects to playing as a team, right? Because we established in the pregame that Navi so far in this tournament have had the worst flash assist for each other. That in itself, you know, is a bad stat line to have, but you can play team play in more than one way. You don't have to flash for each other. You can go in brute forcing and just play the very simple refrag, the entry frag, and the refragging game, so to speak. And that's what Navi do so well. Edward runs in first, flamie goes in first, and then Simple follows up, Electronic follows up. And if you can play that very simple style of team play, then that will be enough to throw off guys like ENCE and guys like Renegades, because they don't have a Simple in their team. They don't have an Electronic, not yet at least.
Well, our next game coming up is going to be Renegades versus Navi. It's only the semi-finals that remain. We'll be finding out who our grand finalists are. But you guys in Twitch chat, it's time for you to cast your votes on who you think is going to win. Do you believe Navi can get it done, or can the boys step it up? It's time for you guys to cast your vote. Use the hashtag of the team name that you wish to use. And don't forget, you can also go to Hellcase if you want yourself some new skins. Use code SLTV, unbox them, and maybe you get some awesome items to play with. We're running behind on the graphics. I'll just let them roll anyway, and we'll keep enjoying this segment throughout. Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. That is me done on the desk for now. We're going to have Trace joining, and you guys have got to fill the rest of it. It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be an exciting day, and that's what it's all about, right?
I mean, when you have games like that, it doesn't matter. I'm happy to do the whole day. Just give it all.
Yeah,
it's only
me
games
too.
like
I'm just super excited to see Navi once again. I think this was, as you said, the best showing we've had from Navi so far. Going up against the team that has been playing the best Counter-Strike so far in the tournament in Renegades, I think this could be a very, very cool matchup.
Well, let's see if it will be a cool matchup. It'll be coming very soon. We're taking a bit more of an extended break, guys, so bear with us because we want all the players to be ready and at the best of their ability for this first semi-finals game. We'll see you soon.
Place your bets at Csgo.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at Csgo.bet.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.